welcome back to another stream. This one's going to be a little different. As you've seen in the title and thumbnail, if you have seen the thumbnail, my face is hidden somewhere in the thumbnail. It's literally an image of this sheet right here. My face is hidden somewhere in that thumbnail. Definitely like Where's Wally? Definitely thought I'd hide it a bit harder to find this time, so that it was a bit more of a challenge and it's not instantly found. Also, we're not going to be building Lego today. So what are we doing for the next, couple of hours? Who knows how long we'll be here? I could sit here forever painting. But instead, we're going to be painting some of our little Star Wars characters, specifically these guys. Now, are these all the ones that I will be painting, or are these... Where did the... oh, yes. The other ones are up there. Right there, we've got some Star Wars characters. They're characters from the Easter eggs. We saw the Kinder eggs at Easter. We did see a few of them when we went out to... I forget what video that was now, but sometime in March, we picked up two of them. One Boba Fett, one Darth Vader. And since then, we've got a few extras. My partner's parents were trying to collect them all, trying to collect all the characters. Might be better if I show you the actual sheet with all the characters on them, actually. This is the sheet with all the characters on, and they struggled to get a Rey and Kylo Ren, who is... Wait, Kylo's on this side, but Rey's on the other side. They've split them apart on this sheet, but they struggled to get those two. I think also, like, the Wookiee, Chewbacca, was a bit harder to get. So, I've got a few duplicates. We're only missing, of our collection, Kylo and Rey. So maybe we can paint Kylo and Rey, but I've got a load of spares. We have not just one Boba Fett, not just two Boba Fetts, not just three Boba Fetts, not just four Boba Fetts. Technically, we got five Boba Fetts. One of them is going to stay Boba Fett. But that means we've got four Boba Fetts here. Look, I wasn't just showing the same one. Oh, wait. I found another pile of them. 5 Boba Fetts. All right. 6. We got 6 Boba Fetts. We got 7 Boba Fetts. 8 Boba Fetts. Oh, there's so many. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 Boba Fetts. 20 Boba Fetts. No, I'm just joking. April Fools. Late April Fools. We got 4 Boba Fetts to paint. That's it. I've gone crazy again. And I have a list of characters that wasn't included in this series that I think we can go ahead and start painting. Not right now. Before we get into painting, I've noticed that... Oh, actually, there's a few other characters. Let me go through them quick. We've also got 4 layers, which is going to be a fun one to paint. We've got 3 Darth Vaders, and then we've also got a Yoda and a Luke Skywalker. Luke's definitely got to be Anakin. We didn't get an Anakin, so we've got to have... I think the robes can kind of pass for Jedi robes. We'll have to see. Let me unpin the comment. All right. If you spot me in the thumbnail, I guess you'll know where to find me. But we've also got... as well as all of these characters down here that we'll be painting today. There we go, group them up a little bit. We've got a save the date for Star Wars. Now, I was planning to be out on my birthday. Still am planning to go out for the day next Wednesday. This Wednesday is my birthday, so I won't be doing a live reaction to this. Maybe on Thursday we can have a look, because they do add the stream on demand, so we could have a little look at it on Thursday. That sounds like a good idea. And they've switched it up now, but they also revealed the set too soon. They didn't get rid of the banner. Can I get up the original? Oh, all right. I've got an image. I just need to get it across to this. So the banner right now is R2 with a question mark. R2 is like the unofficial mascot for Lego Star Wars. R2's in everything. Different make and takes, gift with purchases. We recently got the R2D2 / Droid Factory make and take. We've got... Oh, there's a few, actually. There's a few times Lego have posted it. They've currently hid it, for anyone wondering. sorry Lego, I'm going to out you here. They've currently hid it under the Anzelon Starship webpage. That is the webpage it's on. But if you go to that webpage, you will find, and it's accessible to the public. I'm not doing some crazy digging here. This is an official Lego site. You can see it's got the Lego logo on the top. This image is embedded to the Anzelon Starship page, if you were looking for it. We've also got, oh, there's a load of screenshots people have taken. Lego really outed themselves with this one, which gives us a look at the UCS set for this May. I think it's coming out May 1st. Wouldn't be surprised if they leave it until May 4th, maybe, just so we've got something a bit into May. It's not forgotten about. A load of, it's not chrome, but it probably is that gunmetal element that you see with like droid blasters nowadays. So that's nice to see next to the light bluish grey. Little bit of yellow sneaking through. I think they could have gone a bit heavier on the yellow, but also they're trying to stay accurate. This is another repeat of the A-Wing. And I don't think this will be too popular, despite the fact it looks so good, because it's so big. It's so big. How big? We don't get sizes yet, but I wonder if you get a Black Series figure in there, because that would be pretty cool. Hello there, Moonshoes. Welcome. So Lego have outed their own UCS set. There we go. We found it out a few days earlier. I will be coming back to take a look at this thing when there are official images. But again, this is officially Lego. Lego.com/a lot. There's hero, superhero. Like, they've really tried to hide this well. Hold on. Oh, wait, we just got the best resolution. Originally, it was limited to 600 by 600 pixels. Okay, it's not much better, but look at that. Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter. That looks pretty cool. Now we can actually see it. We could probably delve into it a little bit. The cockpit is a fairly new piece. I feel like I've seen it before. This dome's definitely not new. And the yellow looks like stickers. There might not be an entire yellow brick in this entire set. An entire yellow brick, you know. Sometimes there might be one cut in half. We don't know what Lego are doing. They might have a chewed on brick, but there's not going to be a full brick. It's been a long day. It has been a long day. It hasn't. I've edited a bit. That is literally all I've done today. We've got a sticker on the back, stickers on the side, stickers on the front. They should be yellow parts, especially for a UCS set. They shouldn't even be printed. They should be yellow bricks, because otherwise it's a box of grey and black parts. Even the A-Wing wasn't this bad. The problem a lot of people had with the A-Wing was the fact it was meant to be small. It was blown up way too big. The N1 it feels smaller than the A-Wing. I think it's about the same size, but the 4+ set is minifigure scale. Just so you can size it up compared to this. Minifigures aren't really going to work. I suppose Grogu fits better in the pod at the back, but that's because the minifigure Grogu is like Black Series scale. Grogu's meant to be teeny tiny, 1 or 2 studs tall. But this is a pretty good model. The exposed engines is a nice touch. And it seems accurate to what Mando's N1 is meant to look like. Mando's N1. Let's take it. I don't know why I do minus AI if I'm going to images. But you've got, yeah, it seems pretty accurate, even with the printed and stickered parts on it. But can't go off another toy. This is the old Lego set. And it's a big step up from this. This still looks a bit like the 4+ set, just given the lack of detail on the wings and such. Because they've UCS'd it, it's given them the ability to add these slopes on the side, get them nice angled. You've even got like the double wedge there with a tiny gap through it. Tiny, teeny, tiny. And I'm hoping that's the chair and not the background of the box. I hope there's not like translucent chairs in it. I don't remember that. But it does look pretty cool. It does look pretty cool. And these will be announced Wednesday, April 15th, alongside, hopefully, a look at the gift with purchase, which is rumored to be the Darksaber. 1,800 pieces. It's got to be less than like 160 quid. This has got to be for the same audiences as the MTT, as a lot of the other sets. You're getting more parts and they are a nice colour, probably some exclusive to the set as of the time of release. But there's also a few little parts, a lot of 1x2 slopes up the front. This isn't your typical UCS set with a load of big parts, so the cost needs to be well under 180. I think the A-Wing was 180. Lego UCS A-Wing. We've got so distracted with this, but we can dive into it. £180. And there were bigger parts. Look at the panels on the side. I mean, I'm saying that. The Mando's N1. No, even the wedges are maxing out at like a 3x6. There's no big wedges there. The biggest part we can see, because they've also split up the slopes on the nose of the ship. They've split up the engine into at least 4 rounded elements for each. Maybe there's a long bar going through the entire thing, but I doubt it. That's probably a fencing element on the back there. There's not a lot of bigger elements. I'm not even seeing a 4x6. Hopefully there is a 4x6 support in this, because if that's all like 2x4s, 4x4s, it's going to be quite a fragile model. We'll probably get a display stand as well. This is only the front of the box. We don't see the back. We don't even see the minifigures it comes with. See, it is Lego's official site because it zooms in on this webpage too. We normally get one. We should get Mando and Grogu. I don't think either of them will be exclusive. UCS sets tend to have exclusive figures when they're released. I'm trying to think of a UCS set that hasn't had an exclusive figure. The Slave one, just to my right, came with Jango Fett with arm printing. We got Yularen in the Venator. What do we got the Salbarge. There's a few minifigures exclusive to the Salbarge. So we need to get an exclusive figure. Can't be Pelimotto because they already gave us a well, unless they go over the top, they gave us a really good figure in the playset version. So who could we get before it's announced? Who could we get in Mando's N1? That definitely looks like a pram on the top, unless it's one of the elements from the... Maybe they just get rid of the minifigure. Mando and Grogu are in so many sets, they really don't need to include them in this. That would be a game changer for UCS sets, because they'd be getting rid of the minifigure forever. I don't know who they would include. We'll have to wait and find out. And wait for clearer images as well of the back of the box and the rest of it. But that was interesting, finding that out early. And then I don't think any other Lego sets have been announced since. So these Kinder Eggs, let's start painting them. Which character? I said Anakin for Luke. I want to leave that towards the end because the aim of today's stream is to get better at painting. I paint a lot of Lego bricks, not always the best. I have a Christmas green goblin still on my desk. That headpiece has been painted because one doesn't exist in red and green nor molded yet. And it's not too bad. I say that, there's a little bit of red paint on the side of Goblin's head. So today, the big goal is not to paint a ton of Star Wars characters that Kinder didn't make, but rather to improve my painting. And for that, we're going to need paints. I didn't get them early for this stream. I did not prepare besides getting these characters ready. So let's grab, we've got a bunch of different colors. We might need to be mixing a few different colors, but that's where our palette and our black white paint comes in very handy for the different shades. And in terms of paintbrushes, we have so many paintbrushes. I've been given a few tips over the years painting some of these guys, but if you've got any tips or pointers, let me know in chat in the comments. And these colors, I wouldn't recommend these paints. Apparently they've really fallen off, Crawford and Black. So if you're looking at getting some paints, this one's awesome. Art Echo is a really strong color. I mean, it's black, so it's not too hard to do. I don't know about the rest of the colors. When these start running out, I'm going to switch to these ones because one coat of this paint does pretty much all you need. You don't need a second coat. I always do a few coats, so even with these characters, we might touch them up as they dry towards the end of the stream. Anyone wondering, I do have a favorite paintbrush. It's this flat one, but usually that's because it's about the width of one Lego brick. I think we're going to need a smaller one for today. So let's grab the entire cup of them. From Christmas. World's Best Emperor. I should have edited that. Got a photo of me on there in Lego. And like World's Best YouTuber or something. With an asterisk. It needs an asterisk. But we can pass. World's Best YouTuber in this room right now. That's what the asterisk is saying. But we've got a load of paintbrushes to choose from. What's the smallest one? Oh, this one's teeny tiny. Look at that. Teeny tiny. I don't know if you can look at that. So I think we're going to go with that one. And then there's another little one here that's a bit chunkier. And then we do need that big flat one. Because we are going to be covering like hair colors. If we need to switch up hairs, we can paint that. As far as how these are decorated themselves, let's leave the cup down there. I think they're molded one color. No, they must be molded multiple colors because that green is looking like that's molded. So's the gray, but the visor is also molded. Oh, these are just all molded. So there's no paint, no anything we're going to be wearing off if we do want to remove the paint. But why would we want to remove the paint now? We got some custom Mandos to paint. This is immediately what I thought of when I got given all these dupes, about painting them up, getting them to look like different characters, even Leia. Those Leia buns, I can think of at least 2 characters. Maybe we can get an Endor Leia as well, which is my favorite Leia costume. It's more roby. This is the A New Hope one, but Endor Leia would be awesome. For Darth Vader, one of these has got to be Infinity's Vader. Also, if one of these Mandos is the Mandalorian, as in Din Djarin, we're going to have to try and color match some paints for them. We don't have any metallics. We have black and white. We're going to have to mix ourselves a nice dark gray. So that's going to be fun. We can remove the sabers, and then Yoda becomes Grogu. I want to paint some big beady eyes, get a few references, and also probably tan up that brown innard so it looks like he's wearing a jacket. Maybe get some like ruffles on the side. Maybe go dark tan. That's more Grogu. And then, yeah, big beady eyes. And might have to sand away the hair. I don't want to do too much sanding or molding, but we'll work on it as we go through. What character do we do? Do we do Mando because we've just seen the N1 Starfighter? Is that how we play it? I can't believe Lego still have this image up. They accidentally put this up instead of the actual instead of the stream. Yeah, because this is the May the 4th stream. Doesn't happen on May 4th. That would have been perfect. May 4th stream, announce this set for the day Mando comes out. You can't get better than that. That would have been everything. Also, some new Minecraft sets popped up. These are from their catalog images. So Lego must be getting their catalog ready. Let's have a quick flick through. I won't pull these up on stream. If you want to find these, they are out there. The Ender Dragon. We're going to have to build the Ender Dragon. Not a brick-built head. Damn. So we might have to pick up the Ender Dragon. The Ender Dragon looks like Hedwig or Forks or one of those rotary ones that you spin and the wings flap. That's going to be awesome. A little Happy Ghast set. The baby Happy Ghast, a sad Ghast. That's cute. We haven't seen any of the new Happy Ghasts. There's a brick-built skeleton, a brick-built chicken jockey. The skeleton looks dope. If only they added like a flick missile to the bow. And then what is that a yellow or a tan pig? Yeah, I need to play this game. I don't know what half of these are representing. Nice figures and nice elements in them though. I think they're switching up the animals. Like the pig and the sheep prints seem very different. A few more miniature builds. Baby villager, iron golem looks diddy. But definitely the Ender Dragon seems to be the best of the bunch, I would say. And that is all for that front. All right, what characters? I had a little inspo list. We could get started with Infinity's Vader. Infinity's Vader is going to take the most paint. Infinity's Vader. If you don't know Vader from the Infinity's comics or books, then this is Infinity's Vader. Showed up in Rebuild the Galaxy. Does have a red saber, which, okay, that works, because I don't know if I want to give the blue saber. Vader with a blue saber is pretty cool though. Vader with a green saber as well. What color saber do you think Anakin would have at the end if he survived? There's Vader with a blue saber. Those colors look really good together. I think a yellow saber, given that B vibe, that would be the best. But green, any sort of light color, really goes well with that darkness. And to be fair, red, this red especially, or reds of lightsabers, is quite a bright color. It's very dark in terms of Star Wars, but the red itself is pretty bright and translucent, kind of fuzzy. It's like the new lightsabers. It's what do you call that? Like blurred. It's blurred together. Maybe we should pull all the lightsabers out so we don't end up painting those. Though we could also paint some hilts. Painting the hilts might be going too far, because the hands would just rub it off as they're popped in. So Infinity's Vader. Oh, we're running out of white paint today. This, oh no, quick salvage it. You're not meant to be going on the lid. You're meant to be going in here. I might, yeah, we're gonna prepare for the next few builds. If I can get any of it out. It's not coming out, and then watch, it will just pour out. Oh, pour out all at once. Not too bad. And then Infinity's Vader has a few different colored torso details as well. But I think to try and get them visible, we don't paint the middle so that Vader's chest piece is popping out with the black underneath. So I'm just going to go straight to the visor. Also, we want to get Vader's eyes in there as well. We could sand this down and prime it. We should have primed it, but it's only a cheap plastic, so this paint's gonna be all right stuck down. And look at that. The first coat isn't gonna be too great. It's a nice soft brush, so it's gonna be all right. But we are gonna need to come back at the end and go over this again. This is this is like the reason I picked up the Dark Falcon, for the Infinity's Vader. Absolutely love the character. In Infinity's Vader and Rebuild the Galaxy Vader. Nice way they worked the color change into the show. With Vader being the good guy instead of the bad guy. And that was symbolized with, I think they gave Infinity's Vader a blue saber in the show. Hello there! Alright, we're going to need a smaller brush. I think we're going to need just a smaller brush generally. This bigger brush is nice and firm for like the corners of the helmet, so we don't leave any paint behind. I don't know if we're going to get it out of there. And we'll go over the eyes. Oh no, this might be alright to just stab paint in there. Yes, stab it. Yeah, these are from the Kinder Eggs. So these are my spares from Kinder Eggs. And we've even got the little sticker. I think I'm going to keep the sticker on them. We're not going to be painting that up. We're just painting duplicates into other characters. Because it's like with Lego. When I get duplicate minifigures of named characters, I'll normally just switch out a few elements. We're going to have to swap for the smaller brush. I do have a pot for water just down there, so that these brushes don't dry. It's the last thing you're going to want. Just like Lego, we're swapping around a few parts. Or in this case, painting it is the equivalent of decaling a Lego minifigure and adding to our collection. Rather than just having the 8 that we've got right up there, we've got another. Ooh, Another 13. Lucky for some, lucky for me, my lucky number. Now I'm sounding like Darth Vader, but that was cool. Are there any that I'm missing? Rey and Kylo Ren I am missing. But we might be able to... I don't know if you could turn Vader into Kylo Ren. I feel like that's a stretch because the shapes of the helmets are so fundamentally different. But if you were to paint up Vader... What if we paint up a Vader like Kylo Ren? Let's see how it turns out. All right. I'm going to have to add that to the list. A Kylo Vader? A Vader Ren? All right, we've got to stop painting over that white before it dries. The last thing you want is trapped wet paint. Oh, there's also an identification number on the back. VC369. Is that different? VC369. No, that's the same for all Vaders. I wonder if there's like a way to tell which one you're getting in the Kinder Egg. Similar to Lego boxes, there's got to be an identification number somewhere in the box. Making a pick-a-brick order for Umbara base plates. Costs close to 70 quid. I mean, they are massive, massive base plates. 10 by 10 base plates. I've probably got some 10 by... I've got some weird size base plates that are around 16 by 16 but aren't that size. I haven't heard of 10 by 10 before. That'll add up for Umbara though. I didn't realise there were this many models in the Kinder Easter egg. There are like 10 different models, which is quite cool because Kinders usually have like 5 different... Well, I thought Kinders only had 5 models. They have them in some stores on the rotary plate, just spinning around where the Kinder eggs are. And there's not normally this many on there. Oh, all right. Little brush time to get between the toes. Ooh, my hands are naturally so shaky. So it's a skill that I've managed to paint some of the things that I have on the channel. Missing Ray and Luke traded your duplicates on Facebook Marketplace. There's some really good places to trade. I've seen it searching them up, and also a lot of people selling duplicates for real cheap. I suppose trading is nice because you just pay for your own shipping, like you pay for each other's shipping. Oh, a little bit missing. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. I'm not going to bother with the underside of the cape as much because it's black in there, but it's going to look black when we paint it white because of how dark it is. Hello there. Just got to be careful around the front. Should I bring the camera down a bit so we get a closer up shot as long as I refocus it? Oh, there we go. As long as I refocus it, you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. Watch, I'll end up like painting it over here or something, and then you'll miss out on it. Did I focus it? Yeah, there we go. Oh, that is not the right letters I want visible. There we go. Got there in the end. Again, we're painting Infinity's Vader first, because Infinity's Vader, it wasn't even the Lego version I was thinking of when I decided that I wanted an Infinity's Vader. It's because Funko have released a Funko Pop of Infinity's Vader, and they've also done... Oh, did they do Mara Jade? Who else did they do? They've come out with another Legends character, and I feel like it was Mara Jade, because they're usually quite on what people are talking about, and the Infinity's figures are selling pretty well. I will say most places have them on sale, which is why they're selling them very well. But they are selling very well. And Mara Jade has made headlines because you get these a few of these companies leading up to, and they know who they are. I'm not going to name and shame, but there are a ton of them making articles about these events that happened years ago or characters they want brought back and they haven't seen the return because, you know, the author's not written about them again. And he's busy doing other trilogies, specifically for Mara Jade, that was. I've seen so many articles of Mara Jade. It's that time of year. It's May. Same with deals at Christmas. And everyone's talking about those. It's because it's that time of year. Star Wars is the time to be looking back on what we could have got and making articles about it. Because everyone's going to be missing out. And what never was, not too bad for a first coat. I kind of want to thin out some of the joints on Vader's front. Like that. I feel like there's a lot of paint build up on these sides. Yeah, that's more like it. Can't forget about the top of the hands. Get a bit more paint on the dome. Yes. There we go. We'll come back, repaint Vader at the end. So that they're not seeping through any of the black. Oh, almost painted over the other side of the belt. It's what we need the micro paintbrush for. Look how small it is. It's teeny tiny. Get the smallest dab of paint and try and go between the belt notches. I haven't painted anything this carefully since Chewie at Christmas. The snow Chewie that we made and then did the rainbow ammo belt. I don't think there's anything that's been like this minifigure small as well, because these are tiny. To compare them to a minifigure, they're even smaller than a minifigure. These would fit in some Lego builds, minifigure scale Lego builds. You just have to get them on their posers or brick build a little stand for them to rest on, which is harder than it seems because I don't think that adds up to any Lego. So you'd have to create your own element for it. But it's very soothing, this, painting these. Oh, can't miss his armpit. I need a bit more under there. There we go. I think that'll work. We've still got some of the belt notches out. Get rid of that little bit of paint. Yeah, that'll work for now. The start of our Infinities Vader. Red lightsaber pending. And the colours on the torso aren't the right colours. Not for this toy. Not that we're taking Hasbro, because I think they're all just white. Yeah, they're pretty much all just white. Maybe a few greeny red buttons on the belt. And then we've also got those blue eyes. Or we could add red eyes to our Darth Vader. Our regular Vader needs some red eyes. I might have to bring that down and paint some red eyes onto Darth Vader. But we'll let that one dry. What other characters? What other characters? Hello there! Could we be painting? So I had a list of characters that I threw out for each of them. Of course, Boba's got, you know, Jango Fett, Mando. We've got Droids Boba, Empire Strikes Back Boba, Book of Boba. I like the Mando one. Let's get an image of the Mandalorian. Oh, which Mando do I go for as well? Do I go for the original Mando, which I think Mando's going to paint his armor? Or do I go for this Mando? Because the original Mando has a splash of colour. You know what I might do? I might move this on the move. There's the, there we go. Bring chat over a bit. Hello there, morning Snow Blizzard. I think I'll do this newer Mando as a tie-in to the Mando movie. And same for Grogu. We might be able to paint a little arm. We might be able to paint or decal a little armor patch over Grogu's front. I don't think that's going to work. We could do a little mud horn. We'd have to style it out because there's a dent in the middle. But Mando's a good one. I'm surprised they didn't do Mando and it was all sequel original trilogy. Because normally it's original trilogy and Mando. We had 1, 2, I guess Chewie could be prequel, but 3, 4, 5 original trilogy. Maybe Yoda. Well, Yoda has a saber. We'll say that's prequel. Prequel is Yoda and Kenobi, and then Kylo, Rey, and a First Order Stormtrooper, which we do have with the riot shield. Odd choice. Why not an Imperial Stormtrooper? How do we get a First Order? We're not here to question it. We're just here to paint some other characters. So we're going to need a really dark brown and some water. So let's get a splash. Oh, I spilled the tiniest drop. No, not the tiniest drop of water. Imagine, like, I couldn't have had a smaller drop of water if I tried. There you go. All gone. It didn't even soak into the mat. That's how small the drop of water was. And I should have something to dry these brushes off with as well. Actually, let me grab some more tissue. That way I can dry them a little bit as we go and stop the paint from leaking. I have nowhere to put this except for maybe down there. Right. Most of the water off in the tray. And there we go. Shiny, brand new. These paint brushes are not going to hold a lot of paint, which is good because they're not going to hold a lot of water either. And water makes the paint go a lot further than a dry brush. Should have wet them before we started painting. Oh no, the tips that I've been ignoring. Can't believe it. So brown. Ooh, dark brown. We've got burnt umber and burnt sienna. On camera they look a lot more different than in person. Maybe I'm just colorblind to a degree. They're very similar in the light, but the darker one is more Mando. Even maybe a bit darker. We can add a little bit of paint. I like that. Definitely make Django as well, of course. So we'll get our Mandos. I want to say we'd get our Mandos done first. Maybe we save some Mandos and drip them throughout, because these are going to be the funnest builds. Right, there's our brown. No, there's our. This is not looking any better. Oh, why is the brown going like that? It's turd shaped. It flops around like a turd. I did not like that. And a tiny bit of black. Maybe we can use this black, because I still haven't finished it. I started the new one. It's just so good. I didn't come back to this. Is there any left? Whoa, there is. Whoa, whoa. Oh. Hello there, Mark. Let's get a splash. And this is for the suit. So this is for the grey bits. Yeah, because then we're going to get the silver and the dark grey for the rest. So we want a semi-small paintbrush. Not too small. Grab a little... grab a bit of that black to darken up this brown. Let's hope we don't need brown at any point, because I've just mixed that straight in. What I should have done, and I think that wasn't enough black to change the colour. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this brown and add it to a separate container, or a separate section of it. I don't know the professional words for these. Add a bit of brown in there. Get rid of that and add a bit of black and mix that up, because that's going to be... oh, the tissue looks worse. Yeah. About twice as much brown as we've got black. Oh, maybe I should have... oh no, look at that. That's better. For a dark brown. Darker than Lego's dark brown. But we don't want it on the big brush. Make a white boba, an Infinity's boba. We could have just whitened all of these. A prototype Boba, though. That sounds like a good idea. I'm definitely leaning towards that, or like a droids one. Because even with Mando and Django, are there any other Mandalorians? Maybe a Rook cast? That would go great with a Maul. But again, another character that we didn't see. Darth Maul. No sign of Maul in the Kinder Eggs. Right, let's start with the neck, because it's the easiest to fix if it goes wrong. Is that too dark? That does look like black. That doesn't look like brown. Let's get another scoop of that in here. I mean, it looks a lot lighter, but if that looked black, maybe a lot lighter is what we're going to have to go with. How's this? Prototype Boba. Boba was originally meant to be white because Boba, I'm sure most of you know this by now, it's a well-known Star Wars fact, but if you haven't heard it, you've got to hear it somewhere. Boba was originally a Special Forces stormtrooper. Similar to the entire cast of Rebels. Zeb Orrelius originally being the concept art for Chewbacca. Chopper being the concept art for R2. We saw some protocol droids using the concept art for 3PO. And Rebels does a lot of the... actually, Star Wars in general, Clone Wars brought in some concepts that weren't used for the prequels. The sequel trilogy uses a load of concepts reimagined, similar to how the Rebels series did for the original trilogy. And Star Wars is a lot of that back and forth. Just got back from seeing the Mario Galaxy movie. It's awesome, isn't it? That is a great movie. I finished editing the Mario video today. So that should be coming out tomorrow. With a better look at the Mario Karts that we built. I managed to get Mario and Luigi's all in one video. So you get a nice look into that. And there's also a double upload tomorrow. So many videos coming out over the next week or so that, yeah, double upload here and there, don't hurt. Especially if you're on top of video. If anyone is on top of their videos and is watching like most of the videos on the channel, props to you, because I struggle keeping up with them myself and I'm the one putting them out. Oh, yes. This is the paintbrush right here. This is the paint. This is doing most of the work. I don't feel like I'm doing much here. We also get a look at what Boba's armor would look like on the Mandalorian, if you ever wanted to see that. Because we've got the dark brown suit with currently red and green armor. Haven't painted the helmet yet. I can hold the helmet in the jetpack. Where was I painting the arm? Is there a little elbow? Oh no, that orange is the shoulder. Let's say that Boba and Mando have elbow pads. Only when they're skateboarding to protect their elbows. Other than that, they don't. Pre-Vizsla. Oh, Pre-Vizsla would fit, especially with like Kenobi. That would be a nice little Mandalore display. Also, I held the Darksaber. Darksaber would go great in this hand, but they didn't do that for Boba. Or Leia. Leia wields a saber. I like Pre-Vizsla. That's a good one. Used to love getting Kinder Eggs. That's funny. Oh yeah, come full circle with the Mandalorian Super Commandos. Because we got them in Mando. And also Pre-Vizsla was a similar colour to Jango Fett, who's Boba's owner slash donor slash parent slash father figure. Adopted father. I don't know. Families in Star Wars are a bit hazy. What's the official title of Jango? I think it's more father. Because he does raise him like a son. Just goes to show how Jango would have raised a son had he had one, but I think Boba, even in The Mandalorian, refers to Jango as his father, because Costco Reeves makes a snap about him meaning donor or something like that. I remember that now. Yeah, we'll say father figure. What's blood? Besides Messi, I guess. Hey, one arm done. We might be here all day, but this is going to look so good when we're finished. Managed to pick up the 327th battle pack for $30 yesterday. Oh, nice. I haven't seen it drop too far below 30 quid here. I will say I haven't been looking, but I have noticed on Brickow there are a few figures. I don't know if they're still selling. They're usually on a quick turnaround, but every time I'm on there, there's 327th clones selling for like 3 quid. And there'll only be like 4-8 of them selling. And like I said, the turnaround's quick because people will pick them up. But I'm wondering whether to pick up some more battle packs, or for the battle packs I've already got, do I order the clone troopers, wait for them to be nice and cheap online? 327th are not as common as like the shinies or the Coruscant Guard. Oh, super satisfying. Yaddle for Yodel. For Yodel? For Yoda. The only thing with Yaddle is the hair, and I think it's going to be a similar thing if we try and work a layer into Rey. I don't think Rey ever has the layer buns, so we'd have to switch up that. Maybe we cut off the sides of hair for Leia, add 1 bun to the back for Rey, and give 1 bun to Yoda for Yaddle. It wouldn't not work. Good thing we got a load of this brown paint. All right, get all the way up to the helmet. God, yes. Perfect. Such an awkward space to fill. I don't think they thought of people painting these though. Good old marketplace. Seen a few people have some really good deals on there. Yet to get one myself, but I'm not active on the platform, so I'm missing out. Woohoo! Oh, I see. The wetter the brush, the easier it is to fill the gaps. I'm pretty sure someone's left a comment on one of the previous videos saying about that as well. Oh, we got a little bit on the jetpack. We are going to paint over it. But if I can, with a clean brush, just like smudge it or blur it so it doesn't affect the colour. And then sides. I've also been looking at a load of old Ninjago sets where I've got quite a few of the figures, or some of the Ninjago figures that have literally come out in one set and shown up all season long, the figures. And then they're like 1-2 quid. And that's it. That's crazy to me. As a Star Wars fan where it's the opposite, and if they only show up in one set, they're worth, 10-20 quid. I suppose Ninjago is so popular that there isn't rare figures. There's an abundance of a lot. You've got the magazine as well, which recently, thanks to army building being harder with battle packs, I think that's what's helped the Star Wars magazine. The fact that battle packs haven't come with as good figures. So people have been turning to the magazine to get those figures cheaper, to amass them. Some have also tried to sell the magazines on, because the magazines have value. Oh, the magazines have value. With their comics, with their games, they're really fun. We've been starting to do, actually with the Ninjago ones especially, I've started passing them on to my partner and we've been playing the games in them. Instead of, we used to donate the magazines after I read through them, because I love the comics, but oh, the games get on my nerves. I'm not good at them. I'm not good at the magazine games. Only some of them. Really enjoyed the Spider Droid build. That's the problem with that. It's not a problem. That's the difficulty I'm finding with that set, because I'd love to amass an army of those as well. For the most part, the Spider Droid is cheap parts. There's no expensive parts in the build. Mainly those slopes. Mainly the slopes. I had the spider droid around. Oh, it's just down here. Mainly the slopes, and maybe the dome might be a little pricey in terms of what I'd pay for it. So sometimes it's nicer getting the set because you've already got those parts in the box. But sometimes I do look at parting them out and getting more clones, because even though it's only like, we're not talking a lot, we're talking 1 or 2 more clones picking them up separately than the set. And for a lot of people, that AT-RT isn't worth just 1 clone. The Lego parts in it are worth a lot more than just 1 clone. But at the same time, because of how many parts I already have, I wouldn't mind another clone instead. That's my inner battle at the minute. Do I get 1 more clone or do I pick up the set? Cobvanth and Cad Bane, I know those figures are like 1-2 quid cheaper than picking up the set. But you might as well grab the set for that 1-2, even if it's like £5-10 more than the figures are worth. You might as well grab the set, enjoy the build, and then mock it out, break it down, build something else. You don't have to keep it built. I endorse picking up sets for the minifigures more than picking up minifigures solo when they're in that situation. Obviously, if it's a UCS set and you just really want a Yularen figure, it's probably better paying the 20 quid than the couple hundred. Same with the sail barge as well. I wonder if those figures will be expensive because of how opinion is against Return of the Jedi sets with the sail barge, with the Sarlacc, with the rumoured Boba Fett, which is a 6 set. Can't wait to see images of that if that is coming out. If that does become a set, that would be awesome. But because of how overpriced the other sets are, it's hurting the theme. It's hurting the sub-theme for Star Wars. Episode 6 will never be the same again. There's the non-canonical Lloyd DX. That's worth... Oh, that is worth... Can I say too much for that figure? Although, that is a rare figure, because it came in a minifigure pack. Most minifigure packs were picked up by parents and like the kids lost the figure, parted them out. They're in like boot sales, most of those figures. So I do think that figure is quite rare. The ones in regular retail sets though, they never seem to be too expensive. Oh, no, there is an exception to the rule there with the energy spinners. The energy spinners are quite pricey as well. Let's see if I can get them up. I think they are just an RG. Energy Nia? What? Did Nia get a spinner? No, this was in the actual sets. Oh, that was nice. They come back for Nia. I don't think Lloyd's got an energy figure. I think Nia's got more... No, Lloyd's definitely got more figures. Main character and all. These are the energy figures. That J. It's just a spinner set. I saw someone pick it up for like 13 quid the other day. Just because it's a spinner set. It retailed for like 9 probably. Come with some trading cards. Oh, I forgot about the Ninjago cards. They weren't exactly trading cards. They were for the game with the spinners. I can't remember what they were used for though. And this figure alone is expensive. The hardest thing to get would be the legs. Are the legs the most expensive? Yeah. Oh, no. Wait, can't you just like, yeah, I suppose you can't exactly like paint it up or decal it. But there is a blue wrap, isn't there? Plain blue, no prints. 3 sets, 15 pence. See, I don't think I'd tell the difference. The Air Jitsu minifigure is essentially... Wait, why is Air Jitsu so close to the energy? And they've got a spinner. Okay, not too close, but not too far. Especially with that head. You take the head from the Air Jitsu figure, add a blue torso with a custom print, and you still need to get your hands on the legs. Because you can get an official torso print. I mean, you couldn't get that at the Lego store because it's got that light detailing. But the minifigures that are so similar are so different in price. Oh, this one's rare as well and also pretty expensive. That DX minifigure though is crazy valuable. I wouldn't trust myself with that. Probably crack it looking at it. The dome was a bit on the pricier side. You plan on downsizing the ATRT? So it's in scale, we offer 501st ATRT. After watching the Mando movie, I've already got a plan. I've got a foot built for the ATRT. And I think I'll be making my best ATRT yet. But again, I haven't watched Mando. The sets have been out for nearly 2 weeks and I have not looked at a single one because I haven't watched Mando and I just have no connection to these sets. The Mando sets don't interest... Well, that's a lie. The X-Wing really interests me. The X-Wing looks cool. And that Snowtrooper Brickheads, that looks cool. But I don't know what the Snowtrooper Brickheads is. I don't know what the Snowtrooper Remnant is going to be like. So I don't want to build it because I'll end up putting in a reference that just isn't right. So I'm going to wait until we've seen Mando so that I can build some of these. So end of May, we're going to go on a building spree. That last like week of May, maybe break into June, just building all these sets. Because Mando comes out like a week before May ends. I don't want to mix white into black, but I'll be honest, this white isn't great, so it's not going to do much to the colour. Whereas this black, tiny little bit of black, this is going to be dark grey here. Oh, no, why is that perfect? Wait, stop. Stop adding white. No, a little bit more white. Oh, why was that? Look, it's perfect. That's such a shiny... I mean, Mando's armour does look a bit darker. But that's such a nice light grey. It's very chrome-esque. More light bluish. Maybe, nah, we'll keep it going. Yeah, that's it. Let's see what this looks like. And for the dome and the jetpack, we can just go in with this chunky brush. I think that's the colour that I want. That's the colour I want for this. Oh, we forgot the bottom of Boba's shoe. We should write Mouldie on one of the shoes. If we can fit it. Maybe get an M, like Andy. Yeah. It's a little light for Mando. No, it is very light for Mando. Got a few pack of cards from a Bricklink order. Result. All the Salvage figures together are €255. Not tempting me. Not at that price. That's the colour we're working with. I feel like that is a Mando armour colour, but I also just want to get just a little bit more black. A little bit more. Okay, maybe a bit more than that. Let's try not to use up all the paint here. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Oh. That's darker. Let's go in with a clean, clearish paintbrush. How's that look? No difference. I'm sorry, I can't see the difference between those greys. Maybe it's because the paintbrush is still got a load of that light grey underneath. We haven't fully wiped it off. Right, clean paintbrush. Nope, I'm not seeing a difference there. That looks the exact same. It's crazy how the exact same that looks. There is no difference. I guess we're going with this colour. That's Mando colour though. That's alright. Think they're collectible minifigure themed. Ooh. I wish we got more Lego cards in the UK. I got asked on one of the magazine videos, I can't remember who it was, about Spain, about the magazines in Spain and whereabouts to buy them. When I was over in Spain, both times, I saw quite a few stores with the magazine in. The second time would have been the ATTE build, was one of the, it might have been one of the secondary builds actually. Might not have even been a main build. Oh, there is definitely a difference between these greys. Let's try not to colour the visor. And I regret not picking it up because it came with a limited edition card and a pack of Lego cards. And I think I was just at that point in my collecting where I was like, all right, I can't start collecting cards, especially Spanish cards, because it would be great for my Spanish. I'd pick it up so fast with Lego Star Wars cards, or faster than I am now. And I'd also have to find somewhere I can get those cards. And I know, being in the UK, that even getting the German ones, which are the most common, is so nearly impossible to do. At least consistently. They pop up from time to time, but it's so hard to find. I haven't found many places that sell them. Hold on. Mando doesn't have the red, it's just grey, so why am I not going over that? That I can colour in grey. Same for the arms as well. I don't have to be as careful with those, because it is just silver. I agree, Snow Blizzard, collecting cards is a very dangerous game. It's like collecting tins. I've been really into the tins. For Star Wars we got Maul, but Ninjago Legacy come with so many tins. I think they're purely tins for the double minifigure packs. And even some of the figures we've already got, I'm looking at it, and the tins recently for Ninjago Legacy have been like trading cards for me. They've been so cool. They've come with these limited edition tins. They have really cool effects on them. The problem is, it's a slippery slope. When I start buying magazines every month with tins, then I expect a magazine every month with a tin. And I need to look at it, ask myself whether I need it or not. And right now I've got the Earth Monster from the new season of Ninjago. One of the next Legacy magazines is coming with the Mutation Monster, which is in like a £6 spinner set. But I also want to get the Dragoneer from the magazine, which comes with the Tau, the wings, because I haven't seen the next half. I'm also forgetting to paint this red. So I might pick up that magazine, and I don't really want the spinner with a duplicate. We've already got the new style of spinners as well. I feel like this spinner might be quite expensive to get in a few years, because everyone would have just picked up the magazine instead. No one's got the spinner. Perfect. Perfect. And yeah, do I need the Mutation Monster? Probably not. But the tin could have a nice shiny effect to it. And I might want that. But I can't. The thing is with tins, it's harder than the card games, because cards can be stuck in a book. Cards can be put in a book on the bookshelf, and you're spending a lot of money, but you're storing them. Tins don't fit away that easily. They stack up. No, there are some hobbies you'll never start. That's a good thing. It's a good thing being able to hold yourself back. That's why I'm looking at the minute. I'm doing a lot of like the Mario builds. I'm talking a lot about Ninjago, because for Star Wars it did become, and I think we kind of saw this with the smart play sets. I genuinely loved building all the smart play sets we've built so far, and also I only built the parts of the sets that I like to build. But I did fall into a few times, like I built the rest of them. Do I build the throne room? And I'm like, no. If I'm going to build the throne room, it will be the throne room diorama, because you've all said that's the best throne room we've got. And I haven't built that yet, so I didn't build the Smart Play throne room, because there are better ones on the shelf. I've also built my own throne room a few times. I feel like it's a bit overdone for Star Wars. Throne room, we could have a little bit less of. Decent for the set, for people that haven't got it. I'm not saying Lego shouldn't have made it, but I definitely shouldn't be building it. Oh, this is looking so good. I've got a bit of the visor again. Gotta stop doing that. But yeah, it's a slippery slope with Star Wars, because I don't want to just get every variant of the figure. Same with some of like the Boba Fett's. I'm not going to collect every single Boba Fett because there's a little different marking on the shoulder, or because there's like classic versions as well. I'm not really fussed with that. As long as I've got one of the figure, I'll be able to build the scenes around them. Kind of the same with Funko, I'll admit. I like the different variations with Funko. because minifigures are easier to change costumes with accessories. Funkos are display pieces. My end goal, that's the one thing I collect, and that's my exception to the rule. Funko Pops is the one thing I collect. I would love to have all of them one day. Ooh, a little over the line there. I found my now is the best tool for removing paint in like an orderly fashion like that. As a former Games Workshop hobbyist, you know how expensive it is to collect miniatures. Oh, I thought Lego was bad, and over lockdown I went to get, we had a store near us, and a few times I went past it. I can't remember what it, oh, it's the miniatures. It was a miniature store. Warhammer, that was it. It was Warhammer miniatures. And I thought, I'm spending a lot on Lego. I'm making a lot of customs. I weren't posting them back then, but I was still making a load of customs. And it was around the time that the channel started, actually, just a little over 5 years ago. And I almost got into Warhammer customs, but oh, the paints, the price of the paints got me. How expensive they are for the little tubs that are going to be used on little figures. And I'm not going to know, when I step back, the paint blends together. I don't know the different quality. That's the thing that got me. Yes, Games Workshop Warhammer is way more expensive than Lego. So I didn't start. I haven't bought a single bit of Warhammer. I did make custom 3D printable bases that were like Warhammer, because I had this really good idea of making a Warhammer style game but for Lego. And then I saw that like a million other people had done it on the internet, so that never saw the light of day. Oh, there's a big crossover in the miniatures and Lego community though, and it is nice to see, because it is, they do help out both sides. Lego with the whole breaking down aspect, seen that used on a lot of miniature boards, not just Warhammer, but it's so expensive. 10 years ago you stopped and you fell for Lego. Yeah, Lego is quite expensive. Now Lego is expensive. Definitely sunk way too much into it. I don't know if you'd say too much. We've probably got, especially those of us that grew up with Lego and grew up being bought Lego as well. So we weren't really buying it, which I do think that's Lego's audience. Lego's audience isn't kids asking for it. It's parents buying it, because it is a pricey toy, but you're building it. It's the experience. A lot of parents would have grown up with Lego as well, so that's an easy in for Lego as a company. They don't need to advertise as much. Smart play is what kids want. Smart play is what kids look at and go, whoa, I want that. Same with the Yoshi egg. I saw there was a Yoshi egg where Yoshi hatches out of the egg. That's awesome. That would be a sick Lego set that could then fold up and you do it again. Not sure if the Yoshi toy could be done again, but be a sick Lego set if so. Oh, Mando's also got a strap along the side. Didn't realise that. Right, let's switch it up for a smaller brush. Did recently get a few Tomica cars. Ooh. Tomica, why is this? Oh, I thought it solidified. It hasn't. I was just pressing it down way too hard. Right, I think I'm going to paint the torso grey and then come back in with a brown stripe. Same for the belt. I'm not going to paint that grey. I'm going to leave that red right now. Might need a smaller paintbrush. Wet it a little bit. Get some of the paint. Got a big blob up there. Sneak into the shoulder. I need not a Lego pen. I don't need a Lego pen. Could build a Lego pen. Actually, I used to use the Ninjago sword elements. I've got so many golden swords. I used to use Ninjago swords as a painting aid because of how thin they were. If I wanted to get a nice little bit of paint on whatever I was painting, usually it would be Lego that I'm painting, not these sort of miniatures. But whenever I'd need to get that little bit of paint on, I'd grab a Ninjago sword, apply the tiniest bit of paint to the end, add the paint on, and then go run it under the tap for 5 minutes and make sure I didn't leave any behind. Because I still use a lot of the Ninjago swords as weapons. So I don't want them to be grey, pink and blue, but they worked so well. Let's make sure we can still see the armour underneath. Oh, and then the crotch. Mando's crotch isn't armoured. I don't think Boba... Well, you've got the little padding. You've got the padding underneath. But it definitely doesn't go all the way around to the backpack. I'm going to grey it up because it will look weird if we brown it. It will make Mando look like he's got some sort of nappy on. I think it's dry enough to the touch that I can start holding on as I paint. I get a bit more brown up in there. I think I've missed out a bit on the crotch and a bit on the underside of the feet. Oh, and the gauntlet. Look at that bright red gauntlet that we've just got poking out. Oops. Now, you would like to paint your Legos like you paint Warhammer minis, but it's more difficult because paint on Lego is literally freehand paint. Yes, it's very hard. Even painting these, you can see the different lines where you're meant to paint and the detail shines through. Most Lego anythings are flat and don't have the detail because they print. They don't paint on. They print on flat surfaces or domed and sloped surfaces, which are even harder to get a consistent pattern across. Oh, there's a little red as well. There's a little band back here where they've molded it. They've got this going the whole way around. Yeah. Oh no, I've got a bit on the arm. Right, let's get a bit more of that brown. That's still good to go. The worst part will be when this all dries up and I try and mix a similar colour later on to try and touch it up or to try and do little bits I've missed. Let's see if we can get in now. Let's finish off the crotch. Yeah. And then go over this and get the belt in. So I think this is Mando almost done. We could do the gloves. I want to do the gloves a different colour because Mando's gloves are a dark brown, and then we'll do the belt. Oh, we could get a bit of orange on the back of the glove. Now we're talking. Oh, I think I got a bit on the grey. Back and forth now. As a former Hot Wheel collector, you found that the new cars feel more premium. I haven't had a Hot Wheels car for... The last Hot Wheels cars I had was either the Star Wars ones or the Mario ones. I think I showed the Star Wars ones off on the channel. I don't think the Mario ones have been seen. But they've done Star Wars and Mario enough that they've come out with a few collections since those waves. I like the Hot Wheels brand collabs, and I still see a few of them popping up. They recently made a Simpsons car again as part of just the diecast collection. They're always fun. And then sort of orange fingers. Oh, kneecaps as well. Oh, I forgot so much of Mando here. Right, silver kneecaps. And then tan gloves. We're definitely not going to be able to get that little blue triangle on these gloves. Maybe we need a bit more paint on here. Yeah. Right. That's looking good. Got the brown belt and the tan gloves. Think technology helps a lot for Hot Wheels being more detailed? Were Hot Wheels ever hand painted? They weren't, were they? I don't see a world in which Hot Wheels, because they're die cast, I feel like they would have been molded before they were printed. And they were just simple molds anyway. I remember Hot Wheels having a lot of one-coloured variants. And then they'll come out with another line of cars and that will be a different colour. Oh, this is going to be hard. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rough it all the way around. And then I'm going to cover up some of the spill with grey. That way I don't have to be too careful with the brown. And go ham. Don't want to get that white at the bottom. Actually, I don't want white. I don't want white anywhere on here. Get out of here. Grey and brown. There's no white on Mando. Almost messed that up. We could also muddy up a Mando. That would be... But that's the one that's meant to come in the new Sandcrawler set. Why don't we get images of them next week instead of the N1? Hey, there we go. Oh, the brown sash. Just the one across the torso, and it goes from the shoulder to the belt, from the shoulder to the belt. Yeah, that'll do. We've thickened it a little bit. But if we make it too thin, it's going to wear away very quickly. There we go. Can we make that any thicker? Not thicker. Clearer. I think that'll do. For our Mandalorian, we just need Grogu under his arm. And it's almost like the pistol. Grogu under his arm. And can we get a Lego pistol in here? And the tan hands as well. Tan hands will be easier when we get tan out for another colour. Speaking of, we said about Vader's eyes. Also, Leia. Leia's got like trousers on underneath it. I'm not too fussed on switching that up because that'll be a harder detail to get. But I don't think she's got trousers on underneath. With all the stories of what she could and couldn't wear on that set, I don't think they'd have let her wear trousers. That's... Oh dear, Star Wars. Thankfully they got better since then. Oh, a little red seeping through. Yes. Be gone, red. I thought it was red on the boot. It was grey to start off with. There's our Mandalorian. Din Djarin. Just to compare what Boba originally looked like. Look at the difference. You can see it's the same character. The mold is identical. But rather than a second Boba Fett, we got a Din Djarin. Only taken us like an hour to do. I think they're spray painted. Oh. Might try converting your spider droid from the ATTE into the new one. Oh, the legs are very similar. You'd mainly need those slopes on top, which shouldn't be too expensive now. All right, let's bring back Vader and see if we can get another coat of white. The more coats we add, the less, I want to say patient. Have I just grayed Vader's dome? Did I forget to clear this paintbrush before we used it? I think I did, a little bit. All right. Clean paintbrush. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's white. Don't know what shade of grey we were working with before, but it weren't white. It weren't the white shade. And once the rest of Vader's done, we'll pay attention to the details on the torso. But for now, we're just going to coat the rest of it. Try and get all the brush strokes on top to come down so that you can't really see it's been painted. I mean, you're going to be able to see it's been painted because it's not going to be black anymore. but try and cover it best we can. Get our Infinities Vader looking as good as we can have it. Right, a little bit in the middle. Maybe the legs as well. Oh, we didn't even... Oh, wait, that's the corner bit. We don't want to cover all of that. There we are. Hey. Not all of these will be painted. Oh, I've got a bit of white paint on the base. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not all of these will be painted as much as the Mandalorian or even Django. Django and like Vizsla. Very similar colors to Boba. It's the Return of the Jedi Boba, which is my favorite Boba. Ooh. Or is Book of Boba my favorite Boba? I quite like the Godfather Boba. But I feel like I can't say that's my favorite because I'd just be saying that to like counterbalance everyone that didn't like it. I don't know if I can honestly say that's my favorite compared to Return of the Jedi, where not just in the movie because he gets like knocked once and goes flying off. Well, he does have a cool little stand down with Boushh or Leia at the start. And extended materials have given a lot to Boba between Empire and Return. You know what? I might colour in like everything on the torso of Vader. Unsure about that yet. We're going to leave it there. A little bit under the arm. And then we'll come back to Infinities Vader again after another character. I think we got to go with Grogu. Mando and Grogu. Turn in Yoda into Grogu. Oh, we need this, but like a little darker. This is ochre yellow, which is a orangey tan. Yep, that works. Shouldn't need much more than that because Yoda's got that light tan base, so we want it to come out looking a little darker. Let's grab a bit more black. Oh, that might have been too much. That might have been... Oh, that was way too much. What have we got going on there? Whatever it is, it's no longer yellow. We're going to need to clean this water. It's so dirty. Rumor on the web is talking about a new Boba Fett figure based on the Return of the Jedi fig. Yes, with the upscaled Boba Fett, which isn't an upscaled figure. The rumor at the minute, what I've seen, is it's the Iron Man, the new Iron Man, which is a great build, really good Iron Man build, and it comes with a really good figure. So Boba's got a lot to live up to. It's meant to be styled like this. This Iron Man figure, arm printing, updated design, looks so good. Still waiting for that keyring. We've got a Mandalorian keyring, but I want an Iron Man keyring. So this is what Boba's meant to look like. There you go. Can't block Iron Man's head. And meant to come with a material piece. I made note of that when we looked at the One Piece sets. That Lego are slowly bringing back material pieces. And we're going to need even more. This is turning green, not yellow. They're slowly bringing back material pieces, which is nice for fans of Boba that didn't get him like 15 years ago when he last come with a material piece. I do have that Boba, so I'm less interested in picking up the set and more interested in what this Boba could look like. It is very dark tan, might even be a bit more less saturated than a dark tan, but we're just going over, maybe keeping a bit of the tan at the top for the fluff because it's a worn jacket that Grogu is covered in. Have his little toes pointed out as well. And then for Yoda, the eyes are the big thing we're changing. I'm excited to see what Boba looks like. If it looks good, I will be building a Boba. But at the end of the month, I'm making plans. I'm putting plans in motion to get a brick-built Vader minifigure. Or to build one, not to get one. Make it myself, but to design, to have a Vader figure. And seeing the bust, I think the old bust is the perfect start for a Vader figure. I think the new bust is too complex. The new bust needs a figure like this, which I wouldn't mind putting that together either. That'd be awesome if we got a Vader that looked like this, but Boba's the next best. I think a Vader bust has been tested. Coming out alongside Yoda as well. Nah, that's not it. That Yoda, still not. We've known about it for like a month now. Not really, but it feels like it's been a month. And it's not it. Still not it. If the Boba isn't as good as I hope it's going to be, and I have faith in Lego for this one, after Iron Man, I'll probably end up building a giant Boba minifigure, because we still haven't got any of them. We got Captain Rex back there. And we still haven't got a Vader, Boba. And with these sets coming out, I don't think we will get one. We need a bit of fun in Star Wars. That's what I want. Personally, there was only one episode you didn't like in the Book of Boba, and that was the episode without Boba. It's nice what they did for Mando, because Mando didn't. There was an episode in Mando without Mando, and it felt weird. It's kind of like a trailer for Mando got put mid into Boba, because it was nothing to do with him whatsoever, and it was a really solid episode of Mando. They should have made it into a full season of Mando, and I'm wondering if they did that to try and kickstart the season, get the movie closer. Maybe they did. Maybe they scrapped a full season and were like, all right, we got to show this somehow. I don't think they would have done it for Boba, though. Surely not. What does Grogu look like? We see Grogu in the corner of Mando's hand. We don't even have that image up still. We see Grogu there. But let's get a better image of Grogu. Look at those black beady eyes. Oh, we're going alien black with these. Let's just dive right in. Lose a little bit of it. And plonk. This is the worst bit because black is going to be visible. No matter how you do it. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to envision it. We should also have like twisted up this brush so that it was a bit more pointy. Oh, maybe they need to be a bit more overly. Is this even the... This isn't the small brush. Oops. This is the small brush. Right. Yeah, now we can get some shape to them. We can get them coming out just past Yoda's eyes. We're sticking them a little wider, but giving them that pupil shape. It looks like Grogu, but at the same point, why is this just not as cute? It's the wrinkle, it's the forehead. The forehead's too big, isn't it? Let's see if we can add a tiny speck of white for the eye. At least get a cute shine in it, or a shimmer. Tiny speck of white. And we'll go like towards the middle center. That didn't even speck. I've just picked up black paint. No. Little bit of white. There we go. And a little speck. Okay, big speck. That's more like the little speck I was hoping for. Just a shimmer. So I'm going to cover that with a little bit more black. Yes, that's it. That's the one right there. We've got our Grogu. Look at all the paint I've started to collect on my hands. That's the thing is, the black one is the only one that's a pain to get off. The rest of them are quite all right. Your last Boba Fett minifig is a combination of the last Boba Fett in... It was the, yeah, the mech or the skiff. I think it was the same figure. Gave him the cloth on the shoulder from the old one. I did that. And I also, oh yeah, and then we got a new head, didn't we? I think I switched out the head for, because we get like a somewhat scarred Boba face. I switched that out for a clone trooper face so I could use the head on some of my custom Bobas. There's our Grogu. I don't have what the Yoda looked like beforehand, but this is very different to what Yoda did look like. And next to the Mandalorian, there's our Mando and Grogu duo. That looks so much better than Boba and Yoda. Not that Boba and Yoda look bad. I still love them, but for the Mandalorian coming out, we had to do this. Now we can team them together. Could put Grogu in Mando's arms, but I think that's a step too far. Also, can't wait for Grogu to get a green saber, because it's going to happen, and it's going to be green because Yoda. Or they could come out with yellow and try to market some yellow sabers. They could try it. Don't try it. Should we get to Anakin? Because I'm growing impatient. I want to paint Anakin, and I think the best I mean, we all know my favorite Star Wars movie is Attack of the Clones. There's the scene when he's fighting Dooku, Anakin, or even the Geonosis. So the scene when he's fighting Dooku, he does have the blue Kenobi saber and his saber. Actually, the best Anakin moments from Attack of the Clones have him with a green saber. So let's swap out Luke's blue for green so that we know this is a Geonosis Anakin. We've got black robes. There's an indent on Luke's robes. That would work. With a brown belt, brown shoes, brown legs. Basically bringing back that Mando brown. I think a little lighter. So we'll go just straight out the pot this brown. Might as well add it on top so we can get a bit of that darkness in towards the end. That'll do. Look how nicely that come out compared to the first time. I don't use it enough. And then we've got the black robes down the front. Get a green saber in there. Anakin still has his hand. Yeah, still has his hand at this point till he loses the saber. And Leia's not too far off of Geonosis Padme. We do have Kenobi with the red boots. My favourite part about that Kenobi. It's more of a Revenge of the Sith Kenobi. Could we turn this into a Padme? I think it's a stretch because of how flowy the robes are. This is more of a Senator Padme. So we'll get like purple gowns on them. That would work better. Grogu will hold the dark saber. Yes. In rebuild. What? In rebuild? Oh, the dark saber rebuilt. Oh yeah, because the dark saber got destroyed. Hold on. What are Lego doing? They're giving us an N1 that no longer is in use because Mando's definitely going to get the... Oh, he's definitely going to get the Razor Crest from Zeb. And they're also giving us a Darksaber post-destruction. Oh, Lego, it's really not their time, is it? They gave us the UCS Razor Crest as well after its destruction. Oh, I was talking with Bevel about this. The fact that Lego keep coming out with these after they've been destroyed, that's got to hurt the market. And they're only given certain limitations on what they can make and what they can't. So this isn't just a Lego problem, but it is a Lego curse. I'm going to paint the black robes after, so we'll just go in with brown. Even the legs for Anakin are brown. Like the whole thing is brown. Everything's brown. Everything's dark, kind of like Vader's costume. Everything's just black. Very monotone. Well, there's a little bit of light left. Anakin's costume, as he goes through the movies, gets darker and darker because his Padawan costume's like grey and brown, isn't it? Not grey, tan and brown, isn't it? In a Phantom Menace. Does Padme ever wear her hair in buns? Yeah, a few times in the Clone Wars, but I think in Attack of the Clones, she has it up in buns for the Senate meeting. I think that's Attack of the Clones. Or is that Revenge of the Sith? I think it's Attack of the Clones. Saying that, She's mostly in hiding during Attack of the Clones, isn't she? Because of the whole ongoing conflict and the Clone Wars about to peak. Which is crazy, because then she comes straight back out of hiding when the Clone Wars comes through. LEGO release a new Razor Crest Mark II yellow marks few months before it'll be destroyed again in the new Mando season. If they announce it, as soon as it's leaked, you know it's not making it through the next season. As soon as it's leaked. Does Anakin have baby blues? Oh no, I've marked Luke. No. Also, Anakin needs a scar. Does Anakin need a scar? No, that happens right at the start of Clone Wars, fighting a Sarge Ventress. If you haven't seen Tartakovsky Clone Wars, watch it. Grievous is a beast. Although, maybe don't watch it before bed. It will give you nightmares about General Grievous. I can confirm that. Not through experience, I don't dream. But if I dreamed, I would have nightmares about that Grievous. Absolute beast. It's a good thing they never put Luke in brown robes. Because he would just look like Anakin. There's no way you'd look at this and think Luke Skywalker. A little wobbly on the frame there. Luke / Anakin. This is Anakin. Oh, yes. Let's see if we can find the Padme. So we know how Anakin looks. Oh, there's that one image of all the drawn costumes. Happy that's not AI. Get rid of any AI. This image, this is a goated image for Padme costume references. Like, this is the one image you will ever need. Okay, fair. The costume I'm looking for is this one. It's the Senate address from the deleted scene. But it does show up. It does show up in Revenge of the Sith. Oh, there's the packing gown as well, which is right after the Senate address. Wow. I knew it from a deleted scene. Also got the Tatooine cloths, but the minifigure's a bit too... The Leia character is a bit too roby to get away with that. It's mainly going to be one of these. I think we can get away with this if we have the yellow stripe down the front, because it's a very flowy gown and it does pinch in at the waist. Despite not having a belt, this belt doesn't stick out too far, so we'd get away with that. Grievous in Clone Wars 03 is terrifying. Oh really? Like, I'm not joking about those nightmares. Grievous is that's the scariest part of Star Wars, up there with comics Maul. Like, Maul in the comics is brutal. But the thing is, comics are freeze frames, so you don't ever get the full picture. Whereas Grievous in 03 is animated. Grievous is animated, takes down some of the bravest Jedi warriors like Shaggy. And I'm sure there's a Master Scoob as well. How have I not made a Shaggy minifigure? Maybe this should have been Shaggy instead of Anakin. Got the scruffy hair. Yeah, the hair would have worked wonders for it. I think Shaggy had green eyes though. And was very like green-brown coded, as Shaggy is. Right, they're the robes. They're the underrobes. Almost done. Can I get away without painting the face? Oh, kind of, but I'm not getting in there to the white corner of the robe. That's the best I'm going to do without getting any paint on his face. Not the hands. Painting miniatures is so hard. And the hair color as well. We'll need to switch that up. I feel like they turned him down too much in the Clone Wars. There's still brutal moments, but they are just moments. They're not anything special in Clone Wars. Like the Kit Fisto and Numa? Numa? Is it Numa? What's the guy's name? That was spooky. But that only flashed, like, that was Grievous at his weak point. So that was never going to be terrifying, or never going to be that That's scary. Let's get a bit of this like yellowish into the brown and see what color we mix with that. Because Anakin's hair isn't like a Luke color here. I mean, it is kind of dark tan. I just think it's more of a, it's less saturated. It's a less saturated dark tan, which is whatever this color is that we've managed to mix. It's a very grayed off dark tan. Yeah, that's more like it. Just muting those colors because for some reason Luke's hair is quite bright in toys. Even Lego go with a light tan. Whereas it should be a little darker. But Anakin's ain't as colourful. Also sets him apart from the Luke figure. See, that'll work. And then get rid of as much of the brown and get some black stripes up the middle. So Anakin's got the robes going over the shoulder. So this would be a black robe. There. Come on, a bit more black. That's not the brush. We're gonna have to go smaller. This is gonna take a while with a tiny brush, but we'll get there. Nadar Veb is the character. Thank you, Snow Blizzard. Made a purist of Padme in her red clothes from Kabuki. From Kabuki? What's from in her red clothes? Is that the red robes? No, that's not the red robes at the start. Was that one of the Padmes on here? Nope, here. Oh, the Senate gown. There's a few Padmes that I quite like. We've got this one in... No, we haven't got that one in Lego. We've got the Clone Wars one in Lego, which is slightly different to that. Similar enough. This one I've built using the... Oh, Agatha CMF. Agatha Harkness from Marvel. Good CMF, that. And all you need to do is add a Padme head to... I mean, you don't really need to add a Padme head. I think you need to change out the hair. Yeah, you need to definitely put the hair up. You could probably use that dress for a few other Padme figures as well. You'd have to accessorize. But you could get it looking good. All right, we need to bring these in a little more. Like the arms coming in. So let's weave that towards the other one. And then have it come in down and away from the torso. This isn't the... This is the small brush. Oh, this is hard. Hey, we need to make that thicker. Yeah, that's what it is. Like with the Mando strap, we just need to make these thicker. Because they've been shrunk down, they need to be exaggerated. So there's the front of Anakin. And on the back, it's the same detail. If you've ever worn a Jedi robe, you've got the 2 bits at the front, 2 bits at the back. They tend to cross over a lot more at the back. That's a lot of paint. Little twirl to point it as much as we can. And then have the robes just come in between these 2 belt buckles. A little more to the right. Same on the other side. The red uniform with pants. The red uniform with pants. I can't say I remember that. Where'd you send them? Insta. I can pop them up. The red ones with pants. Oh, that's like it. That is it. That's not like it. That is it. And then there's a little crease that I'm following through here. We've got them separated at the bottom. Could have had them separated a bit more at the top, but like I said, they tend to cross over at the back. So there's our Anakin robes. We just need to grab that green saber from the Geonosis Arena. And there's our Attack of the Clones Anakin. We got to go with Padme next, right? We have to. It has to be done. Get some purple out here. We don't have purple. We have pink. We have red and blue. And we've got quite like, not dark, but quite prominent reds and blues. Royal reds and royal blues. That's the one. More. We're going to need another pouch for this. Depending on which colour comes out in less, I'll add it to that. It's a nice red. Quite a dark red. By Lego standards, a dark red. Oh, we got lots of that blue. So I'm going to add the red to the blue. Try and get a purple going. How purpley is it? So we're going for the Senate address from the deleted scene. We're going for a bluey purple. And it's also not, well, it's dark in spots. Yeah, I mean, that had a lot of red in it from the paintbrush. But if we can filter out that red, I think that's our colour. It's a very blue purple. Tell you what I could be doing. Oh, as in this one. The battle clothes. The red one with pants, with boots as well, which I didn't realise. I do have legs to create this custom figure, never got around to doing it. I did create a custom Padme for the scene. But I think I went with just a different scene entirely. And this is a robe that we're... And they've got the cool little jacket bit. That's the one. Oh, the Naboo security uniform, which is essentially that, isn't it? Handmaiden battle uniform. That is that one. From Phantom? Or was it from Clone Wars? Did find it funny that throughout Clone Wars, Captain Typho only wears the Naboo security pilot uniform rather than his regular security uniform. Oh, wait. Isn't that's the first one in Attack of the Clones as well? Which is just a rehash of that. I suppose Padme's got her big jacket in Phantom Menace, and she's got more of the pilot one. Which is what Typho wears in Clone Wars. And a piece, and the cloth piece from Wanda. I know the cloth piece you're talking about. That's the perfect piece. I forgot that existed. Because that's a Wanda. Wanda came in a book, and I don't know if it was the same minifigure or like an updated figure of it. And I was hoping to get the cloth piece and Wanda in that book. And the book didn't come with a cloth piece. Either that or the book did and the other minifigure didn't. But one of them didn't come with a cloth piece, and it was the one I was going to pick up. So I didn't end up picking it up. And we only have... Do I have a Wanda in my collection? I'm going to have to wonder if I do. Because I don't think so. But there's a chance. This is a really nice purple. And it is a bluey purple as well. I'm happy we went heavier on the blue than the red. This paintbrush is making light work of all these flat sides for Leia. Oh, no, not the hand. Not the hand. Stop painting the hand. Yeah, we'll come back with a smaller paintbrush for that. In fact, we might have to swap over now. Because I don't want to paint that hand either. Just make sure we've covered the back real nice. Yes, and the armpit. Never forget the armpit. His uniform should be similar to Captain Panica. It should be the same. Well, I suppose there's differences between characters, but, you know, Captain uniform. Naboo is quite a uniform planet. So the Clone Wars throws it out of whack. And they get rid of their uniform ways. What are they without a dress code? Schools would not have that. I know schools do it for security, but when you're a kid, uniforms are so annoying. It also kind of, like, schools do it so that you can see if, like, a school kid's getting kidnapped or something. But most school trips, kids will wear jackets. And also, I feel like it does put a target on their backs to a degree. You could tell instantly what school they're from. There should just be like a white, plain white shirt, black trousers sort of thing. Or shorts. Or skirts. Or whatever. Well, actually, probably not shorts. Yeah. Head and hairpiece of Rey. Ooh. For the purest custom. Yeah, Rey's hair. I've slept on Rey's hair for Padme. But Rey's hair would do a lot of looks. And also, Rey's hair is different enough. It's similar enough to some of the other looks that Padme does with the buns at the back of the hair. But it's different enough to tell the minifigures apart. Because I don't think we see the back of Padme's head in every costume. There's got to be some costumes we don't. Especially in the movies, she's usually talking to the camera. She's front and center. So there must be some angles we don't see in certain wares. Like in the Senate chambers, we never see the backs of any of the heads. So we don't know for sure. Well, no, thanks to behind the scenes, we know what they look like. But canonically, Rey's hair works for a few, and so do other plaits and buns. There are a few, not a load. But you can mix it up and get all your Padmes looking different. Because that's one thing that's one thing that stopped me getting a load of custom Padmes. All the hair pieces are like the same one reused, half the time inaccurate. That's a shout for Rey's hairpiece. Kind of like the Bad Batch with every clone being white. Yeah. Suppose so. Bad Batch did introduce a load of animated clones. Like even though we'd seen Commandos, I'm pretty sure we've seen at some point throughout Clone Wars. We saw Gregor, but I mean like just regular Commandos. We must have seen him at some point. In the background somewhere. Because that was back with the original Battlefronts as well. And some of the clone classes on there. I mean, not all of them showed up in Clone Wars. Some of them are still unique to the game, so maybe they didn't. Oh, slowly does it. But LEGO are so behind on the characters. It annoys me sometimes when they come out with characters that are the same. It's hard to put it to the Smart Play line because they did them specifically off episode 4. And there's only one costume most of those characters wear the entire movie. But when they'll come out with a Clone Wars set and they don't come out with a unique costume or a minifigure that hasn't been done before and they instead remake the same, even with Padme and the gunship. All the Padme minifigures they could have done. And they redid the one they updated Padme. So, you know, sometimes that is all we want. But Padme didn't have anything other than a torso print that's exclusive to that character. The legs have been reused, dual molded legs, beautiful by the way. And the head is a newer head, but not exclusive to the character. And then the torso having already been made, we could have made that out of a custom figure. If LEGO just printed a few more of them, we could have. And they could have done a whole new Padme with it. But instead they did the Clone Wars one. It is a really nice torso print. But I don't think it's too different from the older Clone Wars one. Oh no, this is Padme. We got the buns. There is a bit of silver around Padme's hair. We'll get that in and get the yellow triangles down the middle. Are they yellow or are they... I think they get lighter as they go on. If we start with ochre yellow, then we'll slowly add a bit more white and get lighter as we go down. So a tiny, tiny bit. We don't want to go through too much white. Oh. Loved loved uniform because you didn't have to stress about what to pick. Oh, true as well. And not to mention the kids that would bully other kids just because they're not wearing this overpriced thing that they force their like nan, granddad, aunt, uncle to buy because they've got to have the latest clothes. Kids do be like that. Kids do be like that. Let's add a little bit of white to start off with. Just a little bit. Start our lightening, and it's dark at the top, gets light all the way down. The uniform has its pros and cons, but I will say there are also a lot of cons. There are a lot of pros, there are also a lot of cons. Trying to get this in a V shape is gonna be hard. Gonna be very difficult to do. All right, slightly lighter for the next pass. How are we meant to get... Oh, it kind of looks like a V in there. Maybe the smaller brush will have a better luck because I haven't been using it, so I haven't been using it as much as I should have. Little bit on the edge. And then... No, this isn't much better. It's better, but it's not much better. Also, why is this still got black on it? We didn't touch black. No. Okay, there we go. Get some of the ochre yellow. Maybe we do blocks. Maybe we do a stripe. Maybe we lighten this and get a stripe going all the way down. And as the paint gets weaker, it will also shine through less. You see what I mean? As it gets down, as it gets weaker, it's less of a yellow. And then we fill in the top. Just have one giant line going all the way down. It's not perfect. If we wanted perfect, we would have printed it. Use technology. Especially considering private schools in Australia, you can all easily tell as you're made to wear a blazer. A blazer? Yeah, the whole tie, the suit and tie schools are a bit extra. There's a bit much, I think, for school. But they want to look professional. And I think the smart dressed, to that extent, you can usually tell they're the least professional because they're trying to make up in uniform. And I don't think it works a lot of the time. Sometimes it does, sure, but not a lot of the time. Because they're the ones with the kids that are a bit noisier than the rest, a bit this than the rest. No offense if you went to private school or anything, but it's always that one group from there. All right, that's the little star. I think it comes down on her forehead as well. So let's just get a little something there. And then there's a chain that goes over the forehead and around the buns. So just on the outside of the buns, we'll have a chain or something going around in a metallic light grey. We'll go all the way around, even underneath. You won't be able to see it for the most part. Especially with how thin I just did that. It was basically invisible. Oh, too much. Undo it. Way too much. Thin that down a little bit and then thicken this bit up. Where'd that go? All right. We've learned for this side. Maybe the thicker brush would have been better because it's also thinner to one side, whereas this one goes on and is quite rounded, so it's just going to square out. The longer brush would need to push down barely, if at all. No, I think I just had too much paint on it, so too much was coming off. Yeah, this is perfect. Oh, beautiful. And a little bit up the front. Okay, that's like the whole front of the hair. But you know what? It's what Padme would do. Sometimes we've got to ask, what would Padme do? And I think it's that. I also need to thicken up this bit a little. Yeah. There's our Attack of the Clones deleted scene Padme. I think you can tell who that is by looking at it. To go with our Attack of the Clones Anakin. Get both of those together. Not to be confused with Luke and Leia, who are brother and sister. Is that weird? Does that make this weird that I've made Luke and Leia dress up as Anakin and Padme? That's weird, right? That's gonna slide these over with Mando and Grogu. We'll move past that. We've done a Vader. Maybe we can touch up Vader a little bit. Because it has been like an hour since we last touched up Vader. No! I got a little bit of paint on the desk. No! Not more. I've just cleaned off the paint from last time. Last time there was a lot of paint. This time there's going to be even more. The only time we see Gregor in his commando armor was during the arc. Yes, the droids. The droids arc, one of the best Clone Wars arcs in. Actually, what season was that? Because if that's season like season 4, does anyone know what season that is top of the head? I'd be very impressed. I think it's about, see, I get confused with these because it's such a standalone arc. It really doesn't depend on anything else. But Gregor's armor would be cool. As a special figure in a Commando Battle Pack. Season 5! Wow. Season 5 has so many good bits, doesn't it? That is very impressive. You knew it was Season 5. Damn. So, Season 5. That's why I don't remember what season it is, because of everything else happened in Season 5. And when I say everything else, I am referring to those 2 arcs. There's 2 arcs. What's the other? There's 2 big arcs in season 5. There's then the droids arc, which is like 2-3 episodes. I think it might be 3. And then, is there another big arc for 5? What's the other main story? Technically, the clones in Bad Batch should be wearing Revenge of the Sith pilot jumpsuits. Yes. Same in... Where else was that? Where they were wearing the wrong suit. Oh, maybe that is... Maybe that's something that the movies did that, you know, Clone Wars then later introduced another character. Maybe I'm thinking of the opposite. Yeah. With closed helmets, but we get the Phase 2 clone pilot uniform from the Clone Wars. It is funny seeing how it switches up. I know every story is told from a point of view. You know, the whole Kenobi from a certain point of view comes back to bite us in the bum every time we spot something that doesn't add up. Well, from a certain point of view, maybe the Bad Batch tales were told by Gonki, who was there in Force presence the whole time. Yeah, I'm not liking the torso on this Infinity's Vader, so I might go for a complete recut, like a complete color up. Or what if I cover the belt and leave just that torso block? A little bit more, a little bit up the sides as well. Okay, that's not bad. I think it was the belt. There were so many little black squares. Yeah, let's get the armor visible as well. Could do a little grey to the armor. Or get it to look a bit lighter, look a bit different. I'd love to build the new Vader bust in white for an Infinity's Vader. Smooth out the helmet. I think that's our 3rd coat and that's all we're going to need for this Vader. Right. Again, got that little bit of white paint on here earlier, but it's just going to pop right off. And once these are dry, I'm going to pop the figures off, and I'll probably just give the bases a little wipe in case I have splashed them. I think I've splashed them on a few of the different ones as well. Make sure the foot is painted, the cape, under the helmet, under the arm. Yeah, I think Infinity's Vader is pretty much done. 3 coats of paint. We'll see how that dries. But I think that's all we're going to need. Oh, Blue Eyes, we said. We'll come back for Blue Eyes once it's dried. Let's look at Grogu and Mando. I don't think they're going to need any touch-ups. Mando could do with a bit around the visor. I think the red's still poking through. And Grogu's hair is a bit odd. I love the eyes for Grogu, though. The eyes are perfect. And then we've got our Anakin. Oh, saber fell out. Anakin and Padme from Attack of the Clones. So we've got Mando, we've got Infinities, we've got Attack of the Clones. Should we do some like Revenge of the... I think he said Revenge of the Jedi. No, that's the working title. There's about 4. We have the Younglings arc. Oh, is the Younglings arc, is that where Palpatine's trying to kidnap a bunch of kids? Is that season 5? Or is there a different Younglings arc? Is it... Oh, no. The Younglings arc is where they're finding... that Ilum. Ilum is the Younglings arc. That's season 5. The other one is before that. Clone Wars. The Wrong Jedi. That's the last episode, not the first episode. We have... Oh, so yeah, we have... Maul is just season 5, isn't he? That's... Huh. And then we have the Younglings is on Ilum. Yeah. We have... oh, the Younglings. The Younglings do a lot. Because they go to Ilum. 1, 2, 3, 4... or kind of like that then bleeds on to the next. So we kind of have 5 episodes of the Younglings. Then we get the droids, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes of the droids. Then we have more Maul, and then we have Ahsoka. Oh wow. For 4 my hairs are on end just thinking of those episodes. Season 5 is my favorite season. There is not a bad episode. There's not one episode I'd say you could miss. Maybe the Younglings, but the Youngling episode's so important. Wow. Literally Younglings, Maul, Droids, and Ahsoka arc. They're the 4 arcs. There are no filler episodes in this entire season. I forgot about the Youngling arc. That's such a good one. I want to see more Ilum. We've seen so much Ilum. I want to see more. More Ilum. So, Leia Endor. Leia Endor. Not this Endor. This Endor. Oh, look at the Ewok. I want to get an image of the actual one, because I know toys have recreated it in various forms, and it is technically this Leia underneath. Now, the hair. The hair is not accurate, but... Wait, doesn't the hair look like the helmet a little bit? What if we painted it tan and had a green stripe over the top? Could we go full Endor on this? I'm going to grab... We've got that. We can lighten it and darken it. And I think this green should be the base. This green, and we need like a white as well, or like a really brighter version of that. Maybe, I don't think brown would work. The Lego one nailed it. The Lego poncho nailed it. Not this one. The poncho is really nice. That is not how you wear a poncho. How have they even fit? How does the poncho fit around the waist? Wait, could Lego ponchos? I suppose so, because they fit over the shoulders. But surely that's got to be stretching out the material. I wouldn't recommend that. That poncho's got it though. Light tan, dark green, light green. So we're going to need a few of these colours, aren't we? Might look too much like hair. Maybe we keep the hair out and we just add the poncho to be safe. A little bit of green, a little bit of not tan, but ochre yellow is very tan adjacent. So we mix some white in the middle of this. Just get that whole dollop of white in the middle and start mixing between them. This one here. Get a lot. That's enough. Oh, I forgot we had some reddish, bluey purple in the middle. Yes, that would affect it. And I'm going to go down with a green base, I think. So straight up this dark green. We've got a black belt in the middle. Now the belt is hidden, so I want to leave the belt as uncovered as I can. Otherwise, I'm not going to know where to do the black belt. And black is going to trump any color. So if we get any color spill on it, that's all right. Also, this is perfect for one coat because the lighter bits where the white is will be lighter green. We might not even need to mix the green. Yeah, look, where the paint is a bit thinner, the lighter green's coming through. I don't want to paint the legs either because we've got blue legs with black boots. So we've got two different colors going up there, and I've already got a little bit of green on the legs. Oops. Oops. Good thing I make Lego builds for a living and don't paint miniatures because it's not my calling. It is a lot of fun though. If you haven't painted any miniatures, I recommend it. Hello there, Stacy. I also forgot about Star Wars Afghanistan. Star Wars Afghanistan. Wait, what? Is that Star Wars Afghanistan? I assume that's to do with season 5. I'm trying to think what that could be. What could that be? I'm good, thank you. How are you? How are we? How are we? Out of curiosity, anyone that wants to share, is anyone building Lego now whilst watching a paint stream? Orderon. Orderon? Orderon. It rings a bell, but I'm not fully there. Is that the planet from the start? Or, no, that was between, that was the penultimate arc, isn't it? That's between... I've just had the episodes up. Was that between the final arc and the other Padawan one? Orderon is the planet they revisit in Bad Batch, isn't it? Bad Batch? Did I go back to Orderon? Yeah, it is that planet. With Saw Gerrera. Nope, it's not that planet. That's the wrong planet. What planet am I thinking of? No, I'm thinking of, they went back to the Zygerian planet. That's what I'm thinking of. Wrong planet. Wrong season. Saw Gerrera was an arc. Hope my stream's going well. It is, thanks. We've been painting a few of these minis. I'll bring them back out in a second. We've got through Mando and Grogu. We got through Anakin and Padme from Attack of the Clones. Mando and Grogu from the Mando and Grogu movie, not from Attack of the Clones. And Infinity's Vader. Got to remember to do some darker green patches here. And now we're turning Leia into Endor Leia. Getting some Endor robes, some darker patches here and there. Well, that's handy. I can just go over the green seconds later to darken it. Maybe a little darker streak stretching down. Yeah, just under the hood. That's more like it. The Bad Batch did go there in the first episode. I need to rewatch Bad Batch. I can't remember where they have and haven't been. Oh, wait. The Bad Batch went there in the first episode. Is that the one with Kanan? But Kanan's not called Kanan. He's called Caleb Doom at that point. And his master. Is that the planet? Or was that not the first episode? Because that's like when it happens. Is that the same planet as... That makes sense because it's snowy. And the reason I know it's snowy is because that gif of Bo-Katan spanking Ahsoka. That's so random. That's I wouldn't say it's a highlight. It's weird. But it sticks out of that episode for sure. It's so random. It's the equivalent. Oh, we got a green chin. No, not a. Oh, Leia's been eating grass again. No, come on, spit it out. Stop it. I don't think I can even get my finger in there. I'm going to need to weave the tissue in between. Oh, look. That did well. That did well. Got it all over my thumb, but Leia's no longer eating grass. So, you know, win-win. We take those. No, it was later in the episode when they're sent to kill Saw. Oh, I didn't know that was the same planet. Like, it makes sense that Saw's still hanging out on... I think that's his home world. But... I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't realise that was Saw's planet. It explains why he's so caught up on saving the people, and then later on he's like, nah, you know what? They're going to go anyway. Casualties of war and that, you know. Oh, a little bit more in there. I think I got way too much green out. Oh, I've done it. I've done it again. I've painted up the side of Leia's face. This is so tricky to get into these areas without painting too much. Such a hardship. All right. Did I get it? Yeah, I think I've... no, I do want to get... I've got paint over the side as well. Let's get a paintbrush and just de-green that section. Look, so much paint there. Need to get that gone. Try and smudge it away. It's harder once the paint's already been smudged. Oh no, we got it. Just got to use our patience. I didn't make this figure, but I have painted over them. So the figure originally looks like this, and we are turning Leia into the Endor version. I think it was because it was during the night, I suppose so, and we didn't also see any similarities, or like there was no scenes that were repeated in that because they were just sent there to, you know, snipe them. Yeah, that was funny. After they're sent to kill Saw. I know, not relate, well, you know, not in direct relation, but those two sentences after each other. What's my streaming schedule? Oh, good question. So at the minute, I'm looking, I am going to be out Wednesday, which is Star Wars announcement day and my birthday. So Monday, Tuesday, I'll probably be streaming, and Thursday, Friday. And I think they're solid days. I'll probably try and keep that up unless I'm busy Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll probably try and keep that up going forward because weekends are about to get a bit busy. That's a lot of blue. And also we need a little bit of black. Yeah, just a little bit to sort of sandy it down. But yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to try to go live. I will schedule them as the previous stream hits. So you'll know the day of the stream, whether there'll be a stream. I always try to put them up the night before. Worst case, the next morning. But you'll know the day of if there's going to be a stream that night, if you're worried that plans might have changed. All right, this is a lot of blue, first off. And secondly, it's actually a lot darker than I thought. Which isn't a problem, we got black boots, but it's a bit darker. Weekends are a good day for rest, 100%. And by rest, I mean I might be either playing games because I'm addicted to Fortnite Odyssey right now, or I might be out and about. But it's resting compared to work. You know, keeping your mind off it. And then yesterday I was busy, so that's why we're here on a Saturday. And this is still chill. It's not like we're building anything here. I had a few spare pieces that I wanted to paint up. Get a bit of blue in there. And then up the side as well. And then we'll go over the boots with black. Yeah, definitely a very dark blue, but it's going to stand out against the black. I don't even think I need to clean this, just get rid of the water. Try not to run it through a million different paints, miss that stretch. And then, yeah, look at that. That is black. I don't even need to worry about painting too much of the stand being black, because you're not going to be able to see it. But I'll still try not to, because I bet there'll be someone that can see it. It'll be a slightly different shade of black, and it will be so noticeable at the wrong angle. But these are Leia's black boots. You can't see them on the screen, but being my favourite costume, at least my favourite Leia costume, very hard to forget. A little bit more of the blue just to get up the legs. I missed a little bit out up there. Too much. Boop. 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 There we go. No. Boop. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Little bit of blue. We've got the black boots. I'm mixing so many paints now. And then a little bit of black on the nose here, because the boots are quite tall. And now we can start with the little patches around. Oh, whilst we're here, let me get the thinner paintbrush and I'll do the black stripe around the belt. I think I'll need to give that a bit of a better clean. There's still a lot of black paint on there. But I felt that drop of black paint on my hand right there. And then a little bit for the belt. I didn't get any paint. There we go. Definitely got paint. A little bit for the belt, which is black, right? Didn't check that before I started painting, and this black gets everywhere. Where did my other images go? Wait, where did I close down the tab? Control-Shift-T to reopen closed tabs on, yeah, it is black. It's a black belt, at least the Lego one is. To reopen closed tabs on Chrome, by the way. Nice shortcut. Love me a Chrome shortcut. That is fun. Fun figuring out a shortcut as well. Because most of the time I would have heard someone used it, or someone would have been showing me something, and that's where I find it. But when you find one out yourself, a lot of time Chrome tells you as well. When Chrome updates, or not really with an update, because there haven't been any new shortcuts since like day one. I don't think there have been any new shortcuts that weren't on Chrome initially. Maybe a few pointed out. You do get tips sometimes. I turn those off because they were annoying. But sometimes Chrome will tell you if there's an easier way to do something. Or you can always Google how to blank in Chrome hotkey, and it will tell you if there's a hotkey or not. Don't forget your minus AI to get rid of Gemini, because it's not always helpful. Out for yesterday as well. Went for a run at 6 AM. Fair enough. That is, whew, that is one more run than I'd ever do. No, I tried that once. Not for me. As an asthmatic, my lungs aren't that strong. 6 AM as well. I would have slept through. Went to buy the 327th battle pack. Awesome. Nice haul. Went into the city and built it before meeting up with other friends. Built it in the city. There, where I went to uni, there were a lot of cafes that people would go into work, and it never dawned on me that I could go into a cafe and like build a Lego set. I suppose I'd probably be talking and getting way too distracted anyway, but it never dawned on me that I could just build Lego in a cafe. Now I've said that out loud, that sounds awesome. And that is definitely something I want to do. Build a Lego set in the wild. I feel like a lot of restaurants, if you were building, and if like someone else wasn't eating or drinking, they'd probably try and kick you out. Because if you're not spending money, you're taking up a seat of someone that could spend money. But if you find the right place with friendly staff, they'd probably also be a bit interested in what it is you are doing, because I've never seen someone build a Lego set in the wild. I've seen videos of people doing it, and some of them do draw quite decent sized crowds. So maybe that's what's deterred me from doing it. A little pop-up in like a Burger King. It sounds fun. It does sound fun. A little bit under the belt. Little bit. That's too little. A little bit under the belt. Yeah, there we go. And then, oh, there's quite a bit on this side of the torso. Oh wow, there's a lot. And on the sleeve. Just got to remember, I'm covering half of this with the darker shade. So this isn't all going to be the light tan patch. But what a light tan colour. That's a nice shade. A little bit on the hood as well. There we go. Pretty good. And then let's get a little more black. But I did too much black last time. So we'll go with less. Hopefully. Well, it looks pretty dark, but hopefully, yeah, it's not as dark as it looks on the tray. I think it's because there's a lot of black underneath. Also, I feel like this brush is picking up more paint than it's given off. Maybe it's dried up a little. It's more like it. Could order a drink. Yeah, it'd be like the Bloom Bar that Lego had over Valentine's. Can't believe that weren't in the UK. Was there one of them in... There's got to have been one of them in Billund. I know there were like 2 or 3 in Sweden. I contemplated going to Sweden for the day, and it would have been so worth it for the video. That would have been fun. But didn't end up doing it. Not on that short notice. I think if we have it spewing out different sides, yeah, we mix up the paints a little bit on there. All right. That's not, I think there should be a little bit of like brown in there. But I'm worried that's gonna get carried away. Maybe a lighter shade of green, even though we did add that white. No, we thinned the paint, didn't we? We didn't add white into green. We thinned the paint. I think a lighter shade of green just to dab over the tan. Yeah, that's what we need. Nearly did it across the belt. Oh, it's also got little bits of white on it. Let's try not to pick up too much of the tan, because that will pollute our pool. Yeah, that's what we needed. Little bits of light green. A little bit on the front there. And then in the armpit maybe. There we go. That's it. That's it right there. We needed that extra light green. And now we've got our Endor layer. Again, duplicate layer. Like with the Vader, we got the Infinities Vader. But they are nice. When you've got 2 different costumes, you can't really argue with it. These aren't 3D printed. These are Kinder toys. So we got a load of duplicates of, say, Boba in our... well, they weren't our Kinder eggs, but I do have a few duplicates here, so we can turn them into different characters, like Jango Fett. So Boba is the original that we got. Oh, I forgot Jango's got the whole purple base. I thought Jango had the grey base, but no. Jango's got the purple base. And then the silver armor. Very similar to Mando. We're going to have to grey out a lot. Blue out the mask, which I might do first. And then I'm just painting over these so that I don't have any duplicates in my collection. Very blue. A very blue mask. So this... oh yeah, this is the colour. And the red also sticks out a little further than the green. So it's fairly easy to not get too much paint overspilled onto the grain. Although we can neaten that up when we paint that in. No. We could go over the visor with black paint if we do get too much on it. But I like the clean look of the visor because it gives a shine that the paint's not gonna. Oh, the paint gives a little shine, I'm sure, but not like freshly molded plastic. Oh yes, that's the one. Could have a green Django. And then if we don't paint through, how many have we done? This is the 7th one. We've got 6 more to go. I might put those 6 to the side. And if we get another chill stream, fill in this a bit more. If we get another chill stream, then we'll come back and paint some more characters, because I like the pre-Vizsla Mandalorian as well. Maybe even a Gar Saxon. I feel like Gar Saxon's not got as much screen time as pre-Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla is Darksaber wielder, whereas Gar Saxon doesn't wield the Darksaber. It goes from pre to Maul pretty smoothly. And then it gets passed around in Rebels as well. Right, let's get some more grey up. No, before grey, let's get some purple for Django's colours, for Django's suit. And then we can go over it in a grey. Add a bit of white to this purple. Get a nice lighter lavender-esque purple. Look at that, beautiful. Don't want to ruin the entire colour. And this will be the base for Django. We do have we've got silver shins on Django. Django's got more than Boba. Not too surprising. Boba's from a time where Mando, well, even Django doesn't get this armor directly through the Mandalorians, but Boba can't pop home and grab some more armor because Kamino and Mandalore both get blown up. Boba's probably feeling real lost if he stops to think about it for a sec. You could 3D print these, and I was wondering if anyone is going to design any other characters, because there are a lot of 3D printable Star Wars characters that are designed like miniatures for the different board games. There is a Star Wars board game. Again, looked at that. That is very expensive. And all you'd have to do is measure up this connection at the bottom of the feet, and then you'd be able to get any figure on these display bases and even create a similar base like this to 3D print at home. But I haven't seen anyone do it yet. I mean, these have only been out for like a month here in the UK. I don't know how old they are. They're definitely more of an Easter thing for Star Wars, because this year everything Star Wars is coming out before May 4th. Even the UCS set is being announced this Wednesday, and it's going to come out like May 1st. No chance they wait until May 4th. The gift with purchase might go over May 4th, but have you seen the Vader tie as well, which I thought was going to be the May 4th polybag? And, well, we have seen images of the Razor Crest, which is probably the May 4th polybag. But Vader's tie is available now for like a week. And it wasn't available when the smart playsets come out, which would have been the smartest, pun intended. It also weren't available April 1st when the X-Wing come out, and it's not going to be available with the Mando sets end of April. It's come out in a period of no Star Wars, right before the May 4th sales. Maybe Lego are trying to get you to buy things with less rewards, but that also doesn't really make sense. It's just come out in a really odd time. Maybe they can talk about it on Wednesday and be like, oh, there's only 4 days left. Get your Vader polybag valued at £3. The same as a CMF. Put it into perspective. Technically, Gar Saxon does wield the Darksaber against Sabine. Yeah, that is in Rebels. Oh yeah, Gar Saxon does pop up in Rebels as well as a Super Commando. So maybe our super commando is Gar Saxon. Or maybe we just paint one of these white because it looks really cool in white. Maybe we don't need a reason. Maybe I'll make a reason for it anyway, though, to justify getting it done. All right, it's a bit more shoddy, that one. We've got to remember we've painted the visor on. I don't want to have to redo that. Wasn't the easiest thing we've done today. The neck for Mando was probably the easiest thing we've done today. And it's probably going to be easier than this because I had a bit more paint to do it. It was the first thing we painted, so we had a whole dish of paint. And it's not hard for Django, but it's just easier for Mando. Yeah, we are running low on our purple. But if I mix more, we're not going to use it. We've got enough. We'll make it work. Yeah. Oh, we got to get in here as well. Well, we don't have to. Just do a decent job at colouring it all in. Or painting it, colouring it in. Colouring it in with paint, aren't we? And then, oh, I missed the thigh. Well, I didn't miss the thigh. I think I could go over the thigh. Yeah, a bit more paint around here. Yeah, there we go. And now, if I use the same paintbrush, because I've got used to this one now, get the teeny tiny bit of black, teeny tiny, get a bit of water in here because I keep drying it off too much, and mix up a little grey. We want it to be grey like the first Mando colour. We want the first Mando colour back. Why couldn't I have gone straight in with Django? Oh, okay. It's really bringing out the black in the paintbrush. Oh, that's it, that's it. This little colour here. Is that what we want? That's white. That's not what we want. This is what I want. Again, it looks white. Why does it look white on Django? Right, let's clean the brush and just get a straight swab of that. No, it's white. Why so white? Where's the grey at? There we go. That's the grey. Now let's see if I can repeat that, or if this is the last we've got. Colour theory is trippy. Oh, so trippy. Especially with this. Yeah, it must be like the blues, the greens that are making it just look white with how dark. Oh, we've got the black at the front. But that looked so grey before I applied it. Hey. Yes, this is Django's helmet colour. Because this is the paint we're using, and this is also the right colour of paint. Smoosh it between the cracks. Get all the details. Any details on Django's jetpack? I feel like there's a little bit of blue that we might be missing on one of the ends. Especially on one of these thrusters on the side. A little bit of blue would go a long way. I think Mando's is plain, but a lot of Mando's stuff is shiny, which it was all right at the start. I still want Mando to paint his gear. I think that'd be a big step for Mando, because it's making the full loop back to season 1, where he did have painted gear. And I think it looks a little cooler. Because at the minute he is the generic Mando, which for fitting in makes sense. But now he's got the time to sit back. He's got his own place on Navarro. He's got the time to make his own thing. I've realised that this has been on the entire time. The battery I have chewed through with the screen being on. For like nearly 3 hours is insane. But he's got the time, he's got the place, he's got the money. Sure has got the money. To get a bit of paint. He needs the contact. He needs Sabine to come back to paint it up for him. And he'd look like a peacock Mandalorian. The Mandalorian peacock. I really want the Ezra cadet. I would love for Lego to bring back the cadet mold and make it a bit cheaper to get, because it saved me having to design and 3D print one. But I'd also love for them to have the painted version that Sabine does for Ezra with his cadet. I think it's his cadet helmet. I don't think it's hers, where she paints it up. I don't know what the pattern of the cadet helmet is. I don't know if it's but it's got to be inspired by something. It's Rebels. Everything in Rebels is inspired by something. But I don't know what it's inspired by. It's a bit of red. Just a little bit of everything. I think it's got like teeth or tentacles on the side or something. But it doesn't look like, I don't know, when does Sabine give it to Ezra? Maybe it looks like something they were fighting around that time. Forgot we painted the helmet. Can't put our finger on it. Right, let's continue with a backpack. Backpack, jetpack. It's not a backpack. Well, it's a pack of sorts, a pack of jets that go on his back. I suppose in that way it's kind of a backpack, but it's a jetpack. And a brown belt. Brown belt. I'm going to thicken the brown belt and make the brown belt be... Oh, this is just white now. This is not white. This is grey. I can see the grey. Maybe we're rubbing off the grey. Let's get a bit more of this grey going. That's more like it. Too much paint now. Got a paint bubble down there. We've got to out-grey the white. No, I got a bit on the neck. Did I? No, that's just the top of the armour. Oh. Thought I got a bit on the neck. And then... Django's armour does come in a little bit. They needed more grooves where the armour is, and he does have the armour piece over his crotch. Can't forget that. Very important part of the Mandalorian religion right there. The crotch armour. They would suffer without it, I'm sure. And then finish off with the not so backpack. Hey. Oh, we've got... Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, it's soaking in. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's soaked into the green. Oh, we're going to have to... I wash this thing monthly. I mean, you should probably wash your desk mat. I don't think you should wash it monthly. There's a hot take. I don't think you should wash your desk mat monthly unless you, like, spill things on it. Which I'm just going to put that there and try and cover it. At least it didn't go the other way onto the little piece of paper with all the other characters on it. Not that I want to keep that for any specific reason. Oh, no. Hello there, Calvin. Just in time to see me make a mess. I can't believe we have gone nearly the full 3 hours without me spilling any of that water or getting like most drops. When I filled it up, I did get a tiny drop on my mouse mat, but it was a tiny drop, way smaller than that. You wouldn't see it on this mat. Tiny drop, and the mouse mat is semi like waterphobic, so it didn't soak in. Didn't soak in. I picked it straight up with a tissue that I'd already prepared for a spillage. That one I wasn't ready for. That one caught me off guard. Oh, I missed a bit of green on the jetpack. And I'm going to keep I did it with Mando as well. I'm going to keep the little string for the flamethrower because Jango, Mando, and Boba all have flamethrowers. So it works for their character. Should probably put your desk mat in the wash soon. Yeah, I guess I've got no choice. It's got to go. I got to do it. I tell you what. If I put it in the wash, or if I'm streaming Tuesday, we could put it in the wash Tuesday, and then it will be ready for Thursday. Yeah, I could do that, or I could put it in the wash. Yeah, I'm probably not going to wash it tonight. I don't want to do it tomorrow. I'll probably put it in the wash Tuesday. So Tuesday's stream will be matless. I don't know how we're going to cope. This is a sludge. This brown paint. I don't really use the darker brown paint. I usually use the brighter brown paint. I have a feeling this might actually be the brighter brown paint by the looks, because that's what we wanted for... That's what we wanted for Anakin. The brighter brown. Got some sad news. Ooh, how sad. Ooh, come on. Oh, we got to do the back as well. We got to do the back of Jango with a belt. Again, thicken out the belt a little bit because Jango's not got many other details on his torso. So we've got that nice thick belt that goes into the jetpack. So I guess it doesn't go the whole way around. Just there. Oh no, there's a little bit back here. Can I get it in without painting anything else? Give it a little twirl so it stays in. Oh, I painted the jetpack. Of course I did. Of course I did. Let's get a bit of grey. Yeah, there we go. Don't want too much grey. That's the sleeve. That should be this nice purple that I'm now greying up there. There. All right. I think that's Jango Fett done. Let's double check. We could do a little bit more on the gauntlet. I'm seeing quite a bit of red poking. Oh, that's dark. Oh, that's dark. Oh, wow, that was darker than I thought. Yeah, seeing a bit of red poking through. Same, just going over the kneecaps. There's a bit more purple than there should be. I know we painted over the Boba ones, but Jango's kneecaps are a little bigger. Look at how cool that is. That is, and it is cool. Jango Fett is the cool Fett. Everyone knows this. All right, nope, stop with the white. Stop with the white. We want that to be grey. We want the other bit to be purple. Purple, not white. Purple. There we go. Maybe a little bit more brown on the belt. I got carried away trying to paint that backpack, jetpack. You know what I mean. Tomorrow is your last day of Easter holidays. I completely forgot about that these last 2 weeks. I bet it's flown by for you as quickly as it has flown by for me. Because it has flown by for me, and I wasn't off Easter holidays. Oh, okay, no more paint. I see a bit of the red gauntlet poking through. Not the gauntlet. Yeah, the gauntlet. I nearly added more red. I'm going to squeeze a bit of... That's white. Bit of grey in there. Still a lot of white. There. So that we can't see that through it. And also that jetpack is looking a bit white. That's... I'm not sure that's grey that I'm painting on. That looks like a umber, if we were to use fancy terms. Or brown, for anyone that doesn't paint. There we are. I think that's grey. Maybe grey with a hint of whatever colours we've still got on this brush. I'm seeing blue jumping out now. Where did we get blue? Well, we got blue from the paint pot, same as the rest, but blue? What do we use? Oh, blue's on the visor, but we ain't used that for ages. We ain't done any blue. And this is just back to white again. No, little grey, little bluey. I think it's a bluish grey. I'm going to leave that there before I add too many colours to this Django. And there is our Django effect from Attack of the Clones. I have been weighted a little bit towards Attack of the Clones now. Don't think any other bounty hunter has taken out a member of the council so easily, so quickly. No, they probably haven't, have they? Other than Django Fett. So to go through what we paint... Oh, wait. There was one thing we wanted to do, and that was give Vader some blue eyes. So before we round it out, let's give Vader just faintly blue eyes. Faintly blue. I'm going to add little bits of blue like so. Now if I get a wet brush that hopefully isn't blackened by the colour of the water, we can smudge it. Yeah, all right, this is a very prominent blue. Go on. Go on, go on. And Infinity's Vader is a lot whiter than blue. Oh, we got a bit on the nose. It's just going to make a really light blue. Did I mess up? No, 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 we got white. Just to get rid of that bit of blue. No, I mean, there's nothing really we can do here except for overwhelm it with white. Like, just get a whole chunk of white on there and hope that that smushes. Yeah. There we go. And then a little bit more blue on the eye. Just a tad this time. Keep going slowly, slowly. There we go. There's our Infinity's Vader. Those eyes do make a difference. They look quite different. We don't have Infinity's Vader still up, do we? We've gone for a few. And for those of you that missed the start of the stream, it might be worth scrolling back through so that you can take a look at the UCS N1 Starfighter and a few of the other leaks that we have seen on this stream. I lost all semblance of time as it relates to school during having finished uni last year. Honestly, Snow Blizzard, same. Since I finished uni a few years ago now, feels like last year, I have lost all semblance of time. Let's grab Vader's red lightsaber. And also, what we could do for Endor Leia given the training. Oh no, Vader! You jumped! What do you jump for? Don't jump. You meant to stay on here. I think we might have closed up the armhole for the saber just a little bit. Thankfully, Vader has long since dried, so we can just wedge it in there, like so. Oh, and look, we did end up painting the end of the saber white. Unintentional. Oh, I've got to. Oh, okay. Yeah, that will work. We've cleared that up. So, the first character we had was Darth Vader. This is what Darth Vader looked like beforehand without the saber. Just the regular Darth Vader from... I don't think this is canonical because all the buttons are green, and I don't think we've seen Vader with all green buttons yet. But the green buttons do add up quite nicely to our Infinity's Vader that we painted with the red saber still. Not quite as accurate to Rebuild the Galaxy, rather the Infinity's content that we got from Star Wars. Absolutely love this guy. We need more Infinity's Vader, and I am tempted to pick up the Funko Pop. Let me get an image up of Infinity's Vader Funko, because it does look good. So this is the inspiration for this. Infinity's Vader Funko. Silver eyes. We should have gone with silver. Silver's quite great. I like the blue. I also like the red for regular Vader. the red, rather than the, even dark red. Dark red's good, maybe a little brighter than that. One of the many new Star Wars Funko Pops that are coming out, but we could be here forever talking about those. We then turned Boba and Yoda from the original trilogy / the prequels for Yoda, because he does have the saber, into Mando and Grogu from Mandalorian and Grogu, or The Mandalorian, which look cool. These are, I can't believe they didn't do Mando. Maybe Mando should have held Grogu and could have been one character. Maybe that was too hard for them to do, but these are awesome. Definitely recommend, if you've got a spare Boba Fett and Yoda, to turn of anything, to try and paint them like Mando and Grogu. That turned out well. We're going to stick around the original trilogy and jump ahead to the Leia that we painted. We've still got 2 more of these, but we did paint 2 of these in today's stream. So if you can think of any other characters, let us know. Leia's using the Force to change the light balance of the video. Lower, higher, lower, higher. Oh, okay, there we go. Hey, she did it again. That's what Leia looked like beforehand. And then we turned her into this Leia. Oh, Endor Leia is so much better than any other Leia. I will die on that hill. Hopefully I won't die on that hill, but you know what I mean. I love this costume. Turned out really well having painted it. And also, hold on, we can display them all up here. How many before this whole thing topples over? This is kind of like a mobile game at this, well, literally a mobile game, but you know what I mean. We also turned Luke and Leia, yes, brother and sister, into Anakin and Padme, lovers. Not the best thing I've done on stream. Actually, one of the worst things I've done. I didn't think this one through, but I think these look amazing. From Attack of the Clones, we got the deleted scene with Padme on the on that side, left, right, dependent who's looking. And I like the detail to the hairs. And then we've got Anakin on the other side with the green saber from Geonosis, which is my favorite scene from that movie. Just the entirety of Geonosis is my favorite scene. And finally, let's put Mando and Grogu up here. They need to join the gang as well. Last but not least, we made another Boba Fett duplicate into Jango Fett. I love the idea of doing Pre Vizsla, maybe Gar Saxon or a Super Commando. So we're going to be coming back at some point in the far off future. Maybe sometime in May. May 4th. That's on a Monday. No. Yes, it is on a Monday. Maybe we can go live the day before and finish painting these. Little pre-May 4th, see if anything else has been announced, and talk about anything happening May 4th. Now there's a good idea, but it's a Sunday. Maybe we go live on the Saturday instead. Maybe it's another Saturday stream. I will plan that out closer to the time, but in the meantime, that is all of the characters we painted in today's stream. They are Luke and Leia's parents, so that does add up. I suppose you expect them to look like their children, but I would say Leia's got a bit more of Anakin's fighting spirit in it, and I think Luke is a bit more Padme, at least where we are in the Mandoverse. That's definitely the case. We've got a few more prequel characters to add to Kenobi, Yoda, Jango, Anakin, Padme. We've then got Luke, Leia, Chewie, Boba, Vader from the original trilogy. We've also added another variant of Leia and Vader, albeit Vader from the Infinities content, and Mando and Grogu, who are kind of sequel trilogy-esque to go with our Riot Trooper. So maybe we make a few more sequel trilogy characters next time. But until then, that is all we've got time for today. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out. It has been a blast. We'll definitely be coming back to do this again, because we have 2 Vaders, 2 Bobas, and 2 Leias still to paint, and a ton more sabers. Blue, oh, we've got the 2 red for Vader and a blue saber, which we could turn Leia into Rey. So that will be next time. Until then, thank you all so much for watching, and may the bricks be with you always. Now I've just got to find a way to move these without dropping any.